Hello, high-res fans, and welcome to the first week of Hand of the Gods Smite Tactics Valencia Qualifiers for DreamHack. We'll be starting first into Game 1 of Loser's Side this evening very shortly, but with me today is Simbreed, and Simbreed, would you be so kind to explain to everyone the format of each tournament as well as how these competitors confine themselves to Valencia?
Yes, of course. So, the format of this tournament is Conquest with double elimination. It's a 3-week format. So with the first 2 weeks is basically you accumulate points for week 3. It cuts to a top 8, and the winner in the top 8 from America and Europe goes to Valencia.
All right, thank you so much, Simbreed. Well, guys, we're going to get into these games right about now that you understand the format of the tournament and kind of what they're going to be used for this coming few weeks. But guys, let's get right into it.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the EU Losers Finals of our first DreamHack qualifier. We've got Potpie here on the left as Nuwa, and Sinbreed, also known as Billy Bob Bacon, on the right as Zeus. Turn 1, Crescent Blade goes into Potpie's hand with a coined Apollo out for Billy Bob Bacon.
Yeah, Apollo is one of those cards that works very, very well with the new iteration of Zeus. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what Apollo can do?
So Apollo, since he was released, Apollo's been a 1/3 for 3 that can attack twice when he attacks. With the new iteration of Zeus, like you mentioned, Zeus can give any god that he has on the board +1/+1 for his 2 mana ability. And with Apollo being able to attack twice, normally this ability only increases the damage by 1, but for Apollo it increases his damage by 2 per. So he's very devastating if you can get him to survive and get a couple of these auto attacks off, which is why I really like the Mercenary coming out for Potpie to clean him up very quickly.
And the Decrepit Bowman is a unit that we're used to seeing in Egypt decks, but has made a resurgence into the neutral minion slot and has now been placed into this new deck here. It's kind of cute because it allows that Emperor's Prize to get a little more value.
Decrepit Bowman, like all the other minions in the game, were moved to neutral. Definitely one of the more powerful units, I believe. It's seeing a lot of play in many different decks. We've seen some Norse, I believe, run it. We've seen some, it's been Egypt. We've seen some Chinese run it. Another mainstay in a number of decks, almost every single deck that I personally have seen, is the Imperial Archer. And Imperials are very powerful because spells are so prevalent in a number of these decks.
and it's that little RNG ping that can sometimes make a difference. And release the Kraken as the screen is showered in... Is that supposed to be water?
It has to be. I would hope it's not anything different.
I was just gonna say it was a glitch. Sure.
Yeah.
But
It looks nice.
Release the Kraken. It's a 3 mana, deal 2 damage in a 2x2 grid. Huge value and super early as well.
Speaking of huge value, this Deific Vengeance, I believe, able to come out and deal 4 to everything on the battlefield that's not a god. And since there are no gods on the board, PotPie's board is wiped. He now gets to replay his Sun Wukong, likely to go up to an 8/7. No, he's actually going to use it just for the knockback. He doesn't get the immediate effect of the 2 damage from the knockback, but he's going to have the Pardon on the Sun Wukong if Philly Bob Bacon plays a melee unit.
Hey, it's a 2/5. And you can see he's got that Clear Mind spell in hand along with the 2 Rushing Thunders that represents an additional 5 damage to stone in the next turn. So PotPie, even though Billy Bob Bacon has that wonderful value that is the Kraken, is not out of this yet.
You were talking about the 5 damage to the stone, but look at this Alquang in hand. There's enough mana for PotPie next turn to Alquang, Rushing Thunder, Clear Mind, and do just an absolutely ridiculous amount of damage. One, you can't get a Leader Auto into the stone, and of course, the Blade Master heals the stone for 3. But okay, well, no, actually, with the kill on the Blade Master, yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. PotPie's in such a good position. There's not even a way. Except for the Athena coming down, the Athena is the only way you kill the Guan Yu, and or I guess the Thanatos too. But neither of them win you this game.
So I mean, you're stuck playing. You have to play Thanatos, right?
Oh, you can Kraken it. You can Kraken it. I forgot that. That's something that I'm not used to. You know, with the Kraken finally making us resistant.
You can Nemesis. You can't Thanatos. Well, you can Thanatos.
You can't.
No, don't do it.
Just play it as a body? No.
Yeah, no.
What I like about the Nemesis is that generally you can body block the Alquang from getting to the stone, but something about these Chinese decks is they're running recall effects. And PotPie is actually just running his second Habwa out there to get a little bit extra damage onto the stone. He now has, even if the Alquang dies, and one of the Habwas, he still has 2 confirmable damage onto the stone.
And even that fails.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not GG because it is because Kraken only deals 2, so you can Kraken and you can't kill anything else. Oh, Thanatos. Yep.
He's got a Dragon King. So he
it was
already won. He's just
Yeah.
gonna Dragon King for show and then Siphon Mine
Oh
Stone
my-
probably
That's so.
to show
yeah.
him
Nope.
his cards.
Yep, there it is. It was actually really well executed. The bouncing back of the Nemesis is not something we see all too often because you really don't want to trigger some of the war cries from Greek again, and it allowed the Alquang to fall. Billy Bob Bacon was actually able to clear the board, but when you have spells that just deal direct damage and there's a plethora of them in Chinese, you just can't win in that position.
And all he needed to do was remove that body to push 5 more damage to stone. So even though the Nemesis did an additional 2 damage, he removed it for a net benefit of 5 damage. So no matter which way you slice, it was probably worth the bounce.
Absolutely, and yeah, he was just so far ahead. You make that play every day of the week. But yeah, that's game 1. Pot Pie now up 1-0 over Billy Bob Bacon. We're gonna see if Pot Pie makes it to grand finals or if Billy Bob Bacon's able to tie it up in the next game.
Absolutely. Be back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to DreamHack. It's week 2, the DreamHack qualifiers for Valencia Hand of the Gods Smite Tactics coming at you today. My name is Ilya, and alongside me is going to be Deathwalker. So we're going into the EU Losers Finals. Hot Pie taking on Bubbles. And Deathwalker, it's a Nuwa versus Bologna. What can you tell me about what to expect here?
Well, I am really surprised that, Bubbles bringing this Bologna right out of the first game. So maybe he was expecting a Nuwa, and maybe he has some, secret card to play against her. Or, just a strategy. Because we do see right now that Chinese is really one of the top pantheon in the current metagame.
Now, I can imagine that with old Bologna ability, where you would give your unit extra health, it would make a lot of sense to run Roman into Bologna, or into Chinese, because you could buff your units beyond what Chinese can remove. But what does this new iteration of Roman give us as far as maybe not necessarily a favorable, but a less unfavorable matchup than you would have otherwise?
Yeah, well, before Bologna ability gave you 2 health, so it was more easy to, make trades with your unit and then them surviving, so then you can trade afterward. But with the new ability of Bologna, which makes you, blink a unit from 3 space away, you can basically control a unit, and you can force them into a position that they didn't want them to be. For example, yes, that Imperial Guard is out of range of the cannon, but Bologna could blink him in range of the cannon and shot at him. But no, it's going to be an Imperial Guard on the top of his summoning stone.
So, are we expecting... What kind of spell words are difficult? I'm expecting Crescent Blade. Would you launch Rushing Thunder as well here for...
Yeah, well, you probably want to, the Imperial Guard is out of range, and you need to play 2 spells in order to kill that Imperial Guard, but you only have 1 Crescent Blade, and if you want to go with the projection will, the Guard will be buffed after the projection, so you won't have enough. So that's going to be unfortunate, but it seems like Potpie here is going to choose to summon an Imperial Archer, maybe? No, it's going to be another Imperial Guard, so that's going to be really interesting. And the Crescent Blade, he's going to clear the cannon for free, taking no return damage because he used a spell, and that's what the Imperial Guard does.
Yeah, it gives you Pardon whenever you play a spell. And now there's a 2-3 Imperial Guard against 2-2-4 Imperial Guards. So scary. But there are 2 Cupids in hand. Cupid is actually a very, very useful card against Imperial Guard because of what Cupid Warcry is, which allows it to kill any unit, execute them, after Cupid dies. So if you mark one of those Imperial Guards, then you essentially remove it from the board.
Yeah, well, here it's gonna be, that's a hard call, right? Because, you can't really, you can go with, right, you don't have a way to effectively deal with the Imperial Guard, right? The Mana Potion's gonna put your Imperial Guard at 3 attack, but then you're missing a damage. Because can you imagine if the Imperial Potion and would have killed the Imperial Guard, he would have a free Janus on his backline. But now he can't do that because that Imperial Guard is in range of the Janus, unless he decides to body block with his own Imperial Guard. But we all know that he's going to die on the next turn no matter what.
So what targets are you looking to Cupid in this matchup? Is it just Alquang? Is that the only thing you really want to Cupid, or can you spend a Cupid, which is a pretty big resource, honestly, on one of these Imperial Guards?
Yeah, really weird that he put the Cupid in range on the Imperial Archer. If he gets that Imperial Archer, he could have at least, put it out of range, but it seems that he put it there to protect his other Imperial Guard. Nonetheless, both should fall here. We're gonna see Imperial Archer combine probably with a Siphon Mine here. And here we go. We got a clear, complete for Popeye, strong board control, and now Bubbles need to deal with this.
So do you launch the Terra to stun the Imperial Guard so you can trade into it next turn? That seems reasonable to me, right? If you Mana Potion out the Terra?
Yeah,
or do you try to play for something a little better?
Well, that's the thing, all of your other options are a little bit scary, because that Imperial Guard is at your summoning stone, right? Unless you use 2 mana to blink him away and try to spawn something else, then you're gonna have 4 mana playing another Cupid. No, that's gonna be a good call, what you said. He's going to
Yeah.
stun that Imperial Guard and play the Terra.
Let's not call attention to us.
So one thing Pot Pie is missing in hand here is Guan Yu or Ao Kuang, which are obviously the stars of the
The
Chinese show. So what are we? Does Pot Pie need to draw those cards to win this game, or can he just whittle down the stone with a billion clear mines?
Oh, well, you know, the Clear Mind's gonna do 1 damage, so clearly but surely this damage will add up. But here we see, you know, already at 17. This wasn't a big, you know, a big turn for Pot Pie. He just cleared the Terra, but he still maintained the pressure. And Bubble is still, you know, in the same spot as he was last turn, but with a Terra less and less health on his Summoning Stone.
It almost makes you think that maybe he should have gone for a slower play that turn by playing a Cupid and trying to kill the Imperial Guard with that, and then Terra this turn, or you could Mana Potion out the Blade Master for a faster response.
Yeah, so Kira's going to be able to play, you know, 2 of the units, and it seems like it's going to be a Cupid, maybe? That's what he's trying to blink the Imperial Guard away?
I feel like you have to Cupid, which feels really bad because you know there's bigger targets than just an Imperial Guard in that deck.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Ao Kuang, the Sun Wukongs, you know, there's a bunch of them that you really want to get rid of.
Regardless, though, looks like the Cupid hover's coming out, and down floats the little archer himself. He's gonna go ahead and slap that Imperial Guard with
Wow.
with that heart bomb, and that's
Is that enough
that's
damage?
gotta feel real bad as doubles.
With a Dragon King, is that enough damage? That's 6?
Oh, is it?
6 plus 3, that's
Oh, you
9,
beat it.
10. Plus like a Rushing Thunder, and that's close. That's really, really close. Like, he could go for it. He could go for the damage on the stone, and next turn go with the Blade Master. And
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking Blade Master first, but I think the Dragon King.
there you go. That's he's going to.
And he pinged the stone twice with the Imperial Sniper.
Yeah, you want to attack first with the Imperial Guard. It's important because then if he dies to the Cupid, you're losing so much damage.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to smack this stone down to 4 HP, and 4 HP is a magic number because there is a beautiful,
my God,
Blade Master in deck, and oh man, this Imperial Sniper is putting in work.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was trying to say. And now here, he's going to have a Blade Master to sustain. That will even clear him. You know, he needs to play the Blade Master in order to sustain here, to get to gain that 3 health, to go back to 5, and then he's able to, with the Cupid, kill the Archer, die, and execute, like you said, the other Imperial Guard.
Yeah. Or, oh my, he's going such a greedy line here. If he attacks this Imperial Guard, he's gonna leave his Cupid alive, sacrificing some value to keep that 4-1 on board.
I really like that.
I actually really like that play.
Yeah, you know, getting that 4-1 Cupid is much more stronger than a 4-7 Blade Master. Especially that it's not like 4 damage on the opponent's Summoning Stone will matter at this point. Pot Pie though, 1 damage off lethal right now, and he's going to try and find it with some top decks, because I don't believe that, you know, the Hebwa will be answered probably by the Mercury on the opponent's side of things, and he's just going to pass it.
He's just going to take that turn to pass, Crescent Blade down the Cupid, leaving the 4-6 on board. I think he really, really wants to keep this Blade Master in his pocket because that 3 heal might be very, very important in this game, now that Bubbles has managed to stabilize.
Yeah, honestly, I think this was a misplay because, like, think about it. If you don't play the Blade Master on the last turn, now Bubbles is able to put a wall of 3 units in front of his Summoning Stone and block all access from a charge unit from the side of Pot Pie.
But you have Haba for the bounce, though. So you can always get your Blade Master through if you get to 10 mana.
If you get to 10 mana, so that means you're gonna skip another turn. We're gonna see here the Marksman, the Mercury being played, and I believe that we're gonna see also Mercury. That's such a strong board presence right now.
Absolutely, and there's the 3 more damage to stone. It's going to be 7 damage pushed straight to face here on this turn for Bubbles. That drops Pot Pie. He's not low yet. He's still at 15 HP, but that's starting to get a little bit scary that you don't have direct way to kill the opponent.
Yeah, so the draw's gonna be a Decrepit Bowman, as that's not gonna help him that much in the plans. And like you said, on the next turn he's gonna have the Blade Master Hebois combo. But what does he do now? Does he just go with the Decrepit Bowman and projection to kill that marksman?
Honestly, maybe, or he could bounce. I really would prefer that he save the Hebois so that he can guarantee to get his Blade Master.
Yeah.
But maybe, I mean, if you Hebois and then projection as well, maybe that's what he's thinking. No, he's gonna actually make a blade. Okay.
Okay, that was some interesting line of sight here. I mean,
I think
he's winning time.
Yeah, he's gambling that he's got a way to get through that potential wall of units like you were talking about, regardless. Because to be fair, he does have 4 attack on board, plus a projection, plus a Crescent Blade in hand. So that's not nothing. And you can always just projection your own Blade Master to do 4 damage to something else as well.
Yeah, well, we're have some interesting line of sight here. There's a Rain of Arrow that could come down. There's also an Enlist.
Yeah.
That could be played. Now in term of damage, right? He can push out 10 damage plus the Enlist, so he is 2 damage off lethal right now.
I would really like to see Giannis come down.
Yeah, bringing that control of the draw next turn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think that's very important, especially because then you know what your opponent has, right? And if Bubbles knew that Pot Pie had a Blade Master in hand, maybe he'd play this a little bit differently, you know, play a little more conservatively and try to hide his units.
Ooh. Okay. Let's see what he's doing there. He's gonna go with the Rain of Arrow to clear that. Oh yeah, just move your Mercury in the safe spot first. He's going to lose his Venator that he just spawned, but at least he's gonna have a full clear. And he pushed 7 damage on his opponent's Summoning Stone, setting up for lethal on the next turn. It's gonna be a second Decrepit Bowman.
So if you play Blade Master here, you go up to 11, which is just barely enough to live for 1 more turn. So I gotta feel like this Blade Master has got to. You have to push damage to stone, right? You can't even clear.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to have. Oh, he's going to be able to at least kill the Mercury or the Mercenary with a projection. So that's going to be, you know, gaining him 3 life.
Yeah.
And oh my god, here, is he able to kill? Yeah, he can kill the Blade Master for sure if he uses his own Blade Master and Mercury to retreat and attack him. But then he has 1 health!
He has 1 health and Pot Pie's got 11. But this Bologna ability might actually come into play now because, like we were talking about earlier, Pot Pie has to get to the stone first. So if Bubbles manages to body block the stone and blink the Blade Master away, maybe start developing that Giannis, start developing that Marksman, you know, start getting some ranged pressure on the board, Bubbles could actually not be in a horrible position.
Yeah, both these players are so close to kill each other. This is a really exciting game, I must say.
Yeah, this one's super close.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't say both players will win, you know, and there's a lot of strategy coming here. Like, do you kill the Blade Master or do you still push for damage? Because then he just have to survive 1 turn. Playing that Janus, which is the target with the most health. But I would have loved to see the Marksman first, right? Just to get that extra damage. But I don't think it's gonna matter
damage could be super relevant, actually.
I don't think so. You know, the Janus or the Mercenary combined with the 1 damage from Marksman should finish the game, if so. But there we see the Yao Kuang.
Pot Pie dead draws again. And imagine, we were talking about it earlier, that Dragon King so early. But what if he had waited for an Ao Kuang?
Look at that. Like, the Ao Kuang combined with a Crescent Blade is just going to deal 4 damage to the Janus, as he's going to live with 1 health to still body block. And I think this game's going to be bubble.
I don't think Pot Pie can win. I don't think there's any way that he can get his Blade Master into the opponent's Summoning Stone. And I think Pot Pie is going to be toast.
Yeah, that Giannis, that 5 health Giannis, he just have the 1 extra health to be able to protect his 1 health summoning
Let's
stone.
not call attention to it.
Now we're gonna see. Here goes the Ao Kwang, and
This is formality at this point.
but he
Can't
can't.
target the stone, buddy.
Yeah, he can't. He can't. Kill all of the power on Bubble side of things. Like Popeye just
Yeah.
having 4 health is not enough to make him survive. He's going to, yes, kill that Blade Master and kill the Archer, but there's still 6 damage coming down from the board of Bubbles.
Yeah. That's too much for Pot Pie to be able to surpass, as he's gonna claim the first game as a loss, and Bubbles is going to take it in quite a nail biter there, down to 1 HP. That beautiful stabilization from the European player. And we will see you guys in game 2 in just a few minutes, and I hope it's just as good as the first one. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're in game number 2, Pod Pie taking on Bubbles in the EU Losers Finals. And hey, it's a new mirror. My name is Zillion, alongside me is Deathwalker. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so this time Bubbles is going to take the mirror with the new Wa, and that's the thing that most of the player needs to be good with. Playing the mirror in the new Wa, since like I was saying in the last game, it's probably the most efficient deck right now.
You say efficient, and I like that choice of words. Can you break down, why do you call this deck efficient?
Yeah, because you're able to, in the early game, if there's nothing to kill or nothing to remove, you're able to stockpile your resources in order to have a lot of them into the late game, especially these Crescent Blades.
Yeah, and look at what Bubbles just did along that same vein. Moves his Imperial Soldier into the back line. That soldier gained the movement speed and an attack point for every single spell you cast, and you're gonna be doing that a lot. So I really like that.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Starobes being spawned here from the Sagittarius, which is not something that that's not one of the units you want to have. It's gonna guard the summoning zone, but from what right now? Everything's so out of range.
Yeah. I mean, you say that now, but that Imperial Soldier can get some serious legs on him in very short notice.
We're gonna have here though, if Pot Pie continues to use all of his little units, like if he plays an Imperial Guard next turn with a Crescent Blade, it seems like a good turn, but that will play exactly into the Guan Yu from Bubbles from the other side of the map.
Yeah.
And then, not only he's going to wipe the whole board of Pot Pie, but then his Imperial Guard is going to have like 10 attack. Not guard, soldier, sorry. Soldier. 10 attack and like 10 movement speed. That's going to be huge. It's going to go all across the map and probably like 2-shot summoning stone.
I'll come and
I
go
mean,
with ease.
I like it. I like a big drill guard. You know, it's balanced. It's fair and balanced. Come on, Deathwalker.
Do you use the contemplation right now? Oh, he passed. Okay, that's interesting because the next turn then he has the the Guan Yu Mana Potion, Contemplation, Double Contemplation plus Crescent Blades combo. And
oh my gosh, yeah, that would be nasty.
that was a good choice
Actually,
here.
Yeah, clearing that is super important for Pot Pie because, like you said, otherwise that Imperial Soldier would have gained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks, so it would have been a 7-2.
So right here, this is why most of the players think that Guan Yu is the best card in the game, because from a losing board right now, right? This is like obviously Pot Pie who's winning the board. He has 4 units. They're really well spread. The Bowman, whenever he dies, he's going to spawn more stuff. Most of them are range, which is really powerful in the game. But then Bubbles can just like put that Guan Yu
all going away.
Exactly, and like with 4 spells, which is really easy, Contemplation giving you 3, and Crescent Blade that he made before, or even just the Mana Potion, is going to completely clear this. Look at that.
That's pretty nasty. It's also pretty good. He's just going to use those Clear Minds. At least one of them there. Wipe that board completely. And that beautiful, beautiful army that Pot Pie had built is going to be trampled into the dust.
The Dragon King, and getting 3 extra damage on the stone because of the placement on the bubble side of thing. Let's see at the end of the game is that 3 damage will matter, just like he survived the last game with 1 health.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't think I can take another 1 health game, Deathwalker. I don't think I can take it.
It was really stressful for both players, right? You see, like, the struggle that Pot Pie had with the Blade Master, missing 1 damage, and he never was able to finish it. But here, he's having the lead. He does have less card in his hand, but, most of the cards in Bubble hand are, Crescent Blades and Contemplations or Rushing Thunders. That he doesn't. They have about the same units in hand.
Yeah, we're looking at a couple Imperial Guards and a Blade Master in Pot Pie's hand. We're looking at Blade Master, Imperial Guard. Sun Wukong though. Sun Wukong could be pretty useful. I'm kind of a fan of Sagittarius Crescent Blade here.
Yeah, and it seems like Bubble is also a fan with you of the same play. It's gonna roll a Venator. That's gonna be good.
That's really good.
And I like the positioning, right? Because this plays out of range of a Blade Master. Like, be sure that you're not gonna. But here's the thing. Yes, you were playing out of range of the Blade Master, but then on the next turn, are you going to advance or are you just gonna stay there? And here is where Sun Wukong really shines. If he decides to go in Eagle form with Sun Wukong, these Archer right now could have a free kill on that Imperial Guard.
That's super hard to pass up, but you could also do the same thing and develop a Blade Master.
You're right, and it will also be effective since you're down to 16 health, so getting that 3 heal right now could help you.
So at the end of the day, it's a question of, do I want to be more mana efficient and efficient overall by dealing exactly 4 damage with the Blade Master, or do I want to take the clunkier unit, which is the Sun Wukong, and use it now while I still can?
So he's going to choose the Eagle form exactly of my suggestion this time. He's going to have the free kill on that Imperial Guard. But not only that, keep in mind that the boost of movement speed is also for the permanent, like for the next turns, which means that nothing that Pot Pie is going to summon now is going to be safe from that 5 range power of these double archers.
Also, fun fact about Eagle form, it also doubles the movement of your Summoning Stone. But your Summoning Stone has zero movement.
Yeah, and also the Sun Wukong itself, right? Sun Wukong can now, go around the Summoning Stone.
Wukong.
Exactly. He's a speed racer.
Better to keep a low.
He can't drive 55. But here comes the Imperial Guard, maybe, for Pot Pie? Because he already made a blade, right?
Yeah, but he used it right away.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of has to clear that Venator, because the Venator just kills whatever he puts on board.
Yeah, I agree for the Venator, but it was really it was a little bit bizarre or awkward, should I say, to see two blades come down on that Sagittarius just to keep him alive at 1 health.
And he actually leaves his Imperial Guard in hand. Why do you think he chooses not to play the Imperial Guard there? Because he had the mana for it.
I don't know. I mean, the next turn, it's clearly going to be a Crescent Blade taking down that Sagittarius and a Blade Master, and I believe the Blade Master is going to be pushing damage.
Can you, though? I think you have to kill Wukong, because Wukong outraces your Blade Master.
Well, you do heal for 3, and then you have a second Blade Master, so that's going to be interesting to see what he decides to do.
But I don't know. That puts you at 23, right? Which means you die in 4 turns. And do you kill the opponent in 4 turns? I don't think you do.
I mean, you're doing 16, but what he doesn't know is that there's a Blade Master also in Bubbles' hand, which could come down now, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. Go up to 17, put his opponent at 13, and now he's dying next turn if he doesn't do anything.
So he's got to play. He goes ahead and uses the Rushing Thunder. He's gonna Blade Master the other Blade Master. But that, I mean, you're still at 6 HP now, which is not great.
Yeah, well, you know, if the Dragon Kings is the top deck from Bubbles here, he's gonna have the game sealed right now. He doesn't have that much hit, but he has so much removal. Heb was gonna be drawn, but no.
I mean, you cannot bounce that Blade Master because it essentially gives your opponent 3 more HP, right?
You can just use a projection, or like many of the Crescent Blades that he has in hand. He has so much option. Like, I want to see triple Crescent Blade into, you know,
really?
Yeah, because then you can go with making another Crescent Blade, going with a Guard and a Decrepit Bowman, ensuring you that you're going to still have something relevant on the board, even if you lose your Wukong Blade Master.
Why not projection? Because Crescent Blade is better with Outgoing than projection is.
Oh, you're right. I didn't saw it in hand. There's too many cards that he has. Yeah, that's even more efficient, because then you're exactly 9 mana. Then you keep all of the other ones. So
he's not going to leave that unit alive, is he?
Going to
oh, he's going to Rushing Thunder. He's probably going to Rushing Thunder.
No.
Yep, I would assume so. Push more damage as well.
Yeah, 1 damage. We know that 1 damage is a big factor.
Yeah, as we just learned.
So yeah, that's gonna take him down to 5 health with the Rushing Thunder. So yeah, really, what could he go? What Popeye can do? He's gonna have another Blade Master. He's gonna have his own Wukong, but he can't play both.
Yeah. Oh, that card is in hand, by the way. There's a Dragon King in Bubbles' hand that I completely missed. I think he drew it off of that Emperor's Prize.
Yes. He got it from the Emperor's Prize and didn't have the mana to use it. But here's gonna seal the game, especially with that, that Dragon King. He could have also just played a Mercenary to kill it. But
let's just say Bubbles had a lot of options.
he did, and a lot of cards also. You know, that all comes together, and he really had the best. You know, how should I say? He had really good draws, like, because you know, Popeye had a couple turns when he didn't really have anything to do, while Bubbles was always having some good answers or some good board to play with. And
well, let's not forget how this started off with, right? Where Popeye had an amazing board, and then 5 mana a turn, Guan Yu comes out and deals 4 damage to everything.
Yeah, that was the turning point. Like, let's be honest, like, Popeye didn't have that Guan Yu. If he would have had the Guan Yu, and then he could have do the same thing to Bubbles, and maybe would have seen another game. But that's going to be the end of the game 2, and Bubbles going to take the set 2-0 over Popeye, which means that Popeye is going to be out of this tournament, and Bubble is going to go into the grand finals.
Yep, he's going to be facing Yi Chang, and we will be there in just another couple minutes here. Deathwalker and I will bring that one to you. Just give us a couple minutes to get set up, and don't go anywhere. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the EU Grand Finals. It's going to be Bubbles taking on Ichang, both of them hardened tournament players in their own rights. And we're going into a Bologna first pick from Bubbles into Ichang's Zeus. My name is Ilya, and alongside me tonight is going to be Deathwalker, bringing you this game. And what are we looking at here, Death?
Well, you know, we see that Bubbles here decides to go again with the Bologna. Did really well against, really well. He survived against the Chinese Nuwa of Pot Pie. Now let's see how he's going to face off again, you know, the champion, or should I say, of Zeus. Or, you know, not the champion, but the winners. Because, yeah, keep in mind, guys, that Bubble is going to need to win 2 sets over Ichang to win the tournament.
Yeah, so he'll have to win at least 4 games in total, 2 in the first set, and then causing a bracket reset, playing him in a second best of 3 matchup. And that's going to be a Thanatos coming down, executing a cannon.
Yeah, you know, and we're in a spot that is really funny here. We see that Bologna is actually the one with more cards, when usually, you know, Zeus has all these big resources. But as we can see in Ichang hand, his deck is really, really cheap. Like Nemesis, Marksman, Judgment. Oh yeah, that's basically, he draws, you know, the common cards that are cheap, but still, and he has a Blade Master for late game, so he does gonna have a strong early mid game. And depending on his draw, could also curve out really well into the later stages of the game. Well, Bologna here is having a hard choice.
I gotta think Decrepit Bowman, right?
But in range of the Thanatos or out of range of the Thanatos? That's another one.
I think you put it out of range.
In the back of your Summoning Stone?
On the side. Or in the back is fine.
Because if you
I just wouldn't put it.
Yeah, because putting it on the back there ensures that if Thanatos advance or doesn't move, he's going to be hit. So you're forcing him to move away. Now, the option for Zeus here, I would love to see like a Marksman and buffing the Thanatos. That would be really good.
I agree. And then you could move the Thanatos right in and smack that stone for 4.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're in range, like you're going to survive to the Decrepit Bowman, forcing Bologna to use something else to deal with your Thanatos.
And blinking it away won't deal with it either.
Yeah, because then he can
we can see the Enlist, and the Enlist is a perfect answer to a 4/3.
Yeah, but Ichang doesn't know that.
Can't.
Yeah, exactly. So he's gonna give up the damage. And I believe, like you said, yeah, the next turn is probably going to be 100% Enlist.
Yeah, right. I mean, it fits on curve. It deals with the threat on board. There's just nothing else you want from a turn.
There's a Marksman. That was, I wouldn't believe that there will be a Nemesis being played there. That's just not, and not even Judgment.
You wouldn't want a Nemesis 2/2 when you know there's Sylvani and Terras and Blade Masters and all these other units that'll actually get damage done to them.
Yeah, well, here we're gonna see this on the Thanatos. There you go.
Yeah, certainly.
Venator is in I like this spot, right? Out of range of the Marksman, because trading your Venator for a Marksman just doesn't feel good.
Hello, my name is Athena, and I'm in your deck. So I will soon be smacking your stone and everything you try to spawn. I mean, this is a brutal turn 6 mana turn for Ichang. Next turn, if Bubbles leaves his units around his stone like this. This is going to be really interesting. A pivotal series of turns here, I think.
I totally agree with you. Like, do you play the flag to buff your Marksman? Or like, not the flag, I mean the Anyo, to get that extra damage, and then no, he's gonna go with the Judgment. Okay.
So do you play Nemesis as a 2/3?
No, like you said, you just want to keep it for the big stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
so
2 damage. Yeah, it's not 2 damage that's gonna be really relevant here. You're both full health, right? And there's not a lot of pressure. We're gonna see Bubbles.
Bubbles is just gotta keep playing on curve, right? He's just gonna smack down the tree.
Yeah, like that's a really powerful one, like Sylvanas, and you know that your opponent just spent the Judgment to kill that.
So their removal is less
limited.
Great. Obviously, Deicide is very painful for Sylvanas to deal with, but you don't. I don't think you play around deicide at this point in the game. You force him to have the answer, right?
I mean, even with deicide, it's just still not enough to kill the Sylvanas. You have to kill the plant also, not only the Sylvanas, if you don't want him to revive.
Right, I was thinking there was an Inyo flag and it would have been a 3 attack. Never mind, I'm smart.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, if he puts it in range, but then you're gonna have to do that in 2 turns. So, you know, there's a lot that can happen in 2 turns. These players here really taking the time. Like, there is no obvious play here. You're just speculating of what could happen. Both players running these scenarios in their head, thinking what can their enemy have in their hand. And he's going to go and say, okay, we're gonna not play with, like, no matter what Zeus has right now, even if it's Phantom Grasp, I still have 2 turns to deal damage with that Sylvanas. And I don't like that.
I'll use your power.
I agree. So play the Sylvanas now. It's going to go ahead and get Nemesis. And then Zeus ability on the Nemesis is interesting. I mean, you don't want to play the other Nemesis as well. I mean, he's already shown us that. So does he just keep his units back and just let the Sylvanas start wailing on his stone?
I mean, I want his marksman to advance once, because if the Sylvanas attacks and kill the marksman, then your Nemesis is on range to kill the Sylvanas. So that's why I wanted the marksman to advance at least one. And then if the Sylvanas doesn't move, you had your marksman in range on the next turn to make the trade, and with the Blade Master finish off the plant. So that was also another plan if you would have moved from one to the left with his marksman. But now he's not going to be able to rely on that.
So I'm thinking Sagittarius Imperial Guard here. What do you think?
There's so many options. Honestly, I think
I just like playing on curve.
I think you blink your Sylvanas, get the free kill on the Nemesis, or just blink the Nemesis. Yeah, you get the free kill.
Either way, yeah.
And then you can spawn, like, I don't know, the Sagittarius.
I think you do go for the Sagittarius because you want to spend as much mana as you can, right? Just in general, get the most value out of the cards you can. And Sagittarius is one of those RNG cards where you can get a variety of things. So play it now when you're in a safe spot.
Yeah, because then you don't really rely on what's happening from the Sagittarius to help you through the game. It's going to be an Imperial Guard.
Okay, this also makes sense. This is more mana efficient, but a little less random. So you take the sure play and get a lot of board. I like either play, to be perfectly honest.
The double Athena here seems great, but they're not going to be enough, especially with the Imperial Guard being on board, meaning that, you know, he's not going to take return damage if there's any spell being cast from Bellona, but as we can see, Bellona doesn't have any spell, so maybe that's a bluff to, you know, being sure that his opponent won't play Athena. This is really cool mind games here happening with the board state of Bellona. What you play? I mean, your marksman, because you didn't move it last turn, is still out of range of everything now.
It's kind of just stuck there, isn't it? Because you can't really move it up at this point.
I mean, he can move it up. Like, it doesn't matter, because if you move it up or not,
yeah, blink.
Like, your opponent's going to blink, just like he killed your Nemesis. And this is what I was saying, like that Bellona is able to move your units where you don't want them to be more efficient in trading. It's a little bit different, and I like that Athena. It's gonna give you a breathing room.
I do too.
Yes, you're not gonna be able to kill the Sylvanas now, but at least you're going to delay the damage he's doing.
Yeah, I think that's very important. And next turn you do have Blade Master into Athena auto to kill that Sylvanas for good.
So there's not going to be any spells from Bellona here, which is going to be, you know, unfortunate. It's not going to be able to use the Imperial Guard as full potential. It's just going to be a regular 2/4 now. And with the rest...
A regular 2/4, it's still not bad to kill the marksman, because you kind of do still need to kill it. What do you think about Cupiding the Athena?
I want to see the Mercury being played. Mercury, and you kill the marksman with the two out of the 3 random shots. Is what is going to happen here. I am telling you.
That's called playing the odds right there.
Yeah.
You should go to Vegas sometime.
You need 2 times 33% chance out of 3 tries. Come on.
Math is hard.
Come on, Bubbles.
Oh, no, it looks like he's not going to go for that wonderful RNG. And instead, probably just going to remove this Athena. Does that mean he trades his Imperial card for the...
Wow.
You get a 2-1, right?
That
Okay.
is a lot of resources to spend on Athena.
And hey, he's got another one.
He does have another one, indeed. But now your Sylvanas is going to be alive, and he didn't move the Archer
He didn't
again.
move the Marksman.
Yeah.
I really do like what you were suggesting. I think moving that Marksman would have been a huge play, because then you could Athena, smack that Athena down, and then Marksman down the Sylvanas. You wouldn't have to deal with a tree right now.
Yeah, exactly. That was the plan, the long-term plan. This is why each positioning is really important, because you know, being out of range, like you can have 10 attack, but if you're out of range, this is counting as 0 right now. We're gonna have, you know, here Icheng just thinking about what could he do, and there is just no good answer, because here's the thing, no matter what he do, he's gonna have a Sylvanas and Decrepit Bowman or Fractures that are going to attack him. The only way to remove that is playing the Blade Master, but he's going to go with a Nemesis. And that's interesting, right? He decided to kill the Blade Master instead of killing the Sylvanas. So now
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure I would have.
Yeah, the Athena just dies for free now. Range
Especially
damage.
with Dishonorable. He has Dishonorable in his deck. He's a madman.
I think it's a good card, because if you think about it, Sunder is 1 mana to deal 2. Dishonorable, if there's only one target, is 1 mana to deal 2 also. And you always have that blink to be sure that you're gonna have that. And now the Dishonorable is going to clear the board, and there's gonna be 1 mana deal 6, which is not bad if you want my opinion.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I'd play a 1 mana deal 6. Seems pretty good.
So, like, if you play Sunder, there's no point why you shouldn't play Dishonorable most of the time. And here we're gonna see how effective it can be. Much more effective than a Sunder, basically.
That is a huge board swing, though. He just took Icheng's board, which he had been very carefully cultivating, building up from the very beginning of the game, and said, "Ha, all your board are mine now." And now he just has complete control.
Yeah, that Sylvanas really is the key. He died once, tanked another Nemesis, forced a kill on the Athena. He just doing so much. Dive and Vengeance here is gonna be good, but then again, like, you're gonna have that Sylvanas that's gonna be there. He's gonna be just...
Sylvanas is such a pain.
Yeah, he is. Like, not only you have to kill him once, but you have to kill him twice. So you can't just spend 1 attack to kill him or 1 spell to kill him. You have to use 2 of them. And that is why he is really, really good. And you know, he doesn't revive only 1 time. He actually revived infinite amount of times. So that's even harder.
I think that'd be a good way to balance it, don't you? Just like so that it only revives once.
It will definitely help him, because he is really strong if you have no answer. Sometimes you're going to be able to kill him once, but the second time then you have to re-kill. Like, that's the thing. If you didn't have the damage to deal with him the first time, why will you have the damage to deal with him the second time, especially when he's range and have 5 attack?
Icheng made an interesting choice though. I kind of want to highlight. He chose not to play his Aphrodite. Mostly, I think, because of that Sylvanas. Like, it literally would have just died.
Yeah, keep in mind that with the blink on side of Bellona, nothing that you're going to spawn is going to be out of range of the Sylvanas.
Yeah, that is true. Sylvanas sitting in the middle of that board, kind of playing King of the Hill at the moment, and he owns everything.
Yeah. We're going to have to see, there anything, like... He needs the second Judgment combined with the Blade Master to kill the Sylvanas. That's what he needs, Icheng, right now.
I think this is why we saw Bubbles decide to play Bellona first in the last set, right? Because he knows that this sort of thing can happen with this, honestly, brutal card. The Sylvanas doing so much work.
It really is what's giving Bubbles the game here, that Sylvanas sticking to throughout all the damage, throughout the Divine Vengeance, and he's going to, okay, funny blink, just because he can, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you want to restrict your opponent's spawn spaces.
Oh,
and you want
finally!
to-
Gonna be
Yeah.
able to kill that, to kill the Sylvanas,
Dun,
right?
dun, dun.
Playing the Blade Master, playing the Mercenary, and then trading the Mercenary on the Sylvanas, finishing the plant with the Blade Master. Is that, I mean, Ichen could stabilize here. That,
Could he though?
I mean,
Because like you've still got a Cupid. Bubble still has a Cupid, so that Blade Master is kind of toast.
I mean, but he doesn't know, that's what I'm saying here.
Oh.
The Marksman draw is not gonna be
We
really
know.
effective. But like if I'm Ichen here, I'm pretty confident I can stabilize in this one. Like if my opponent decides to trade both Mercuries to kill my Blade Master, I'm totally doing that trade. But no. Oh, and that, I like that.
I like the blink. That's cute, right? Because now the Blade Master is completely out of range. It's blocked off by a 1/1, and you're like, yeah, I'm using my 4/7 to kill a 1/1. You know, it feels really bad.
It is, and he's just going to go for damage.
Oh. Well, he's actually gonna get his 3/3 Mercury there in range of the Blade Master though. With that.
I mean, but he pushed 3 damage, and I like that because it's.
Yeah, I think that's more.
It's going to set up lethal with the Marksman / Cupid coming down in the next turn. But why the Cupid so far? You could have just put it in front to get that 4 attack on the Summoning Stone.
Because you can just move your Marksman up 1 and then move your Cupid up anyway, right?
Yeah, I guess with the
It's out of
blink.
range.
Yeah, with the blinker, you're gonna be good.
Right, yeah.
With the blinker, you're gonna be good. So at the end of the day, doesn't really matter. Now the D side, obviously, you're not gonna kill the Cupid.
I mean, at the end of I don't think Ishang has any way into this unless he miraculously spawns about 5 more Blade Masters.
Well, he's going to kill the Mercury, and then he can safely put in Aphrodite. Safely is never a thing with Bellona, but you know that Aphrodite is gonna give him 4 extra health or shield that Bellona's gonna have to go against, and he's going to even buff the Aphrodite because he has the mana. So now, Cupid, see, like here. Like, Bubble has the damage, but because of the Afro Shield, he is missing 4, in fact.
Yeah, because he can only do 5 damage to the stone, right?
Yeah. I mean, if he plays a Cupid, then he's going to have an extra 1.
5. Oh, yeah, it is 5. Right.
So yeah.
6? No, 5. I'm right.
It's okay,
Can't
yeah.
do math.
Math
I mean, I
are
can
hard.
do math. I just do math about 5 times and get different responses.
But now, like we were talking about,
It's creative math.
Because the Cupid was placed in the back of the Summoning Stone, now it's out of range of killing that Aphrodite.
That's true, but you could always just Cupid again.
Of
You can
course,
Cupid the
but then, you know, you're giving your opponent much and more time. Like, if the Cupid would have been played in the front, you could have blink it, trade it with the Aphrodite, killing his Blade Master, killing your Cupid, and then use the Cupid Bowman to finish off the Aphrodite.
Yep,
It's
that's accurate.
It's going
Still,
to play the second Cupid, okay. And he's gonna what? He's gonna be able to finish off the Blade Master.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, yeah, that and 2 damage. I think you're better to make your unit
Hey,
survive.
it's Kraken Man. Is that
Poseidon.
important? Can he actually stabilize with Kraken Man?
I think so.
Let's think.
Like
'Cause he can
Aphrodite
kill
can
Cupid.
kill. Yeah, Aphrodite kills the Marksman, and then he Kraken the 2 Cupids in the back. He's left with a
Yep.
Poseidon
Curse
and
it
a
all.
Kraken and an Annual on the next turns.
And there are 2 1/1s on the board for Bubbles, but I don't think you're overly worried about the 2 1/1s.
Yeah, exactly. They are definitely a threat over 2-3 turns. They can definitely finish you. But you're on these 2-3 turns. You're also going to have if they don't kill the Poseidon, then the Poseidon is going to kill them. So they're going to be forced to attack it.
All right. Well, here comes Fishman,
Fishman.
splashing his way into existence here, and there's that wonderful Kraken gonna go ahead and slap down in that field. Dishonorable though. Does Dishonorable still do damage to summoning stones?
Nope. But
No, I
the
don't
Summoning
think so,
Stone
right?
doesn't count as a friendly unit. So the Dishonorable here is a free kill on a Poseidon, and that means you can push extra damage, but just moving the Poseidon
Ooh,
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then moving your archers out of range of the Poseidon is going to be sure that, you know, no matter what spawns next turn, you're going to be able to use the Dishonorable on. And Scylla with a Kraken here is a full fear.
Can he... I was going to say, can he race him? But I think this is the safer play.
At 5 health, it's really scary to do that, especially if he gets, like, you know, enlist.
Hey, what? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I mean,
so racing it would have been a horrible decision.
Bubbles still have a Blade Master in, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yep.
So you enlist the Summoning Stone here. There's no question, and you blink the Scylla out of the way.
Or you could just dishonorable and enlist, right?
Oh, you're right. That's exactly though. Yeah. You can just. I totally forgot about it, dishonorable. Yeah, that's gonna give you a full clear. It's gonna give you a 3-2. So no, you wanna dishonorable first, because then you can spawn your Venator where the Poseidon is standing.
Right. Okay. So that's a kind of micro percentage play that he could make. But yeah, I fully expect him to just empty out his hands here, and we're kind of just at the top deck race. And I wonder if Bubbles has figured out what Icheng's got in hand right now.
Going to hold on to the dishonorable. He's gonna play it after. Ooh. Yeah, like I said.
I mean, he can also just blink it out. So
he can.
I guess it doesn't matter.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
That is something that Bologna does well. Bologna kind of does remove a little bit of RNG with the spawns, with the random spawns, by...
When you have mana floating, yeah. When you do have mana floating, you are. But why did he, like, he could have just put it in the safe spot. The Judgment, no, yeah, the Kraken, yeah, nothing was safe after all. We totally forget about that. Anya was going to come down here, putting the flag.
Is this gonna be another 1 HP race?
I mean, we're at 2 HP here, but that's as close as you can get. So yeah, you blink for that. Yeah, you blink the Annual into the corner just to neutralize them, and you put the Infernal Cannon in range that whenever you can blink it, it's going to attack the opponent's Summoning Stone, right?
Yeah, you're threatening lethal every turn.
Yeah, so you just needs to put the cannon in range, and that's not where you want it, because then
Wouldn't you want to put it like top middle of your Summoning Stone?
Yeah, probably top. No, you want to put it where you can have multiples spawn to be able to kill the Summoning Stone.
Fire Imp! Oh, Fire Imp!
So right now,
that's exactly what he needed. He can clear the cannon.
Yeah, you're right. And he can clear the cannon. But that's just.
But still,
that's just stalling the game. So
you can't cast Judgment on cannons because that card is bugged. So he will have to use the Fire Imp, in fact.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't think it changes the play that he did.
Curse it all.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, you still gonna use the Kraken.
Giannis is so important because you can control what your opponent is drawing. This could actually be Bubbles winning this game.
Yeah, because the Bologna is going to be blinked each turn, so that's not even counting. And then Bubbles going to see, oh, look, that's a damage card. Let me use it against you.
Basically, Bubbles is... It's going to be so hard for Icheng to come back to this game with this Giannis coming down because Bubbles just won't give Icheng any
okay,
back in.
He needs Thanatos. If there's Thanatos, he can Judgment for 4 damage and finish off the Giannis with the Execute. But it's not going to be Thanatos. It's going to be Aphrodite here. And...
It's not quite what you want.
What do you shield? Like,
you can't kiss your flag, so don't do that.
Oh, it seems like he can.
No, you can, but it doesn't do anything.
Okay. Oh, the Judgment. Yeah, he has enough. We're so lost.
Yeah, we really are lost. I mean,
I always forget the Kraken.
We're like 25 minutes into this game.
Yeah.
My brain is fried.
The Crippled
So
Bowman.
actually, Bubbles might lose.
Yeah, the Bowman's not gonna do anything.
Inyo's on a treadmill.
Exactly. She's exercising. That's what she's doing.
I mean, that's how she gets so fit, you know? She just runs constantly.
The shield that she has must be starting to be really, really heavy.
Forget
for
about the
her arm.
shield. Look at that freaking sword.
Yeah, but the sword's like, you can put it like slide it to the ground, but that shield, she really has it to protect her chest.
She's got them both like up at the ready all the time. Like that woman must have arms of steel.
Well, Bubbles finally, after thinking a lot of his 2 plays, which is blinking the Bellona and putting that
Divine
decrypted
intervention.
moment.
Does he have any gods left?
Oh, but do you
He has a
use
Thanatos,
it?
right?
Do you use it?
That's a good question.
That
He is
is-
going to.
That is one of the biggest questions. He's going to use it.
That's
Oh
bulky.
yeah, it is. But now you just Thanatos, Kraken. You make sure that you. I will Thanatos first.
No,
to get
I think
double
you want Kraken first, right? Because you want to push your Scylla.
Oh, we
into
got
the
lucky
one
with the
house.
Anyo.
Yeah, I mean that's skill right there.
Zero, so
Yeah.
everyone ready?
And then you
Oh.
buff. What do you buff?
Oh, I don't like that Scylla placement because now Scylla can be blinked out of the range of the summoning stone. If you would have placed the Scylla on the other side of the decrepit fracture, you could have moved it in the back of the
Ah,
summoning
yeah, I see
stone
what you're
and
saying.
always being in range, assuring the 5 damage on the next turn.
See if he gets a charge. That's a clay soldier.
Ooh.
You're wishing you were Guan Yu right now.
Yeah, and you have some extra crescent blades in your hand just to finish, just to explode around that Scylla slash Aphrodite here.
This has been such a stabilization.
And we've been some really close game here. Bubbles being able to stabilize at 1 health in the last set versus Popeye, and now it seems I don't wanna be the man who's going to ruin it, but it seems like Icheng is stabilizing, and the life total of Bubbles is going down slowly but surely.
But keep in mind though, Icheng is racing against the fatigue clock. He's only got 3 cards left in his deck, so he's got to end this game within 5 turns.
But 5 turns when Scylla do half of the damage is a lot of the it's not gonna take that much.
Trying to make dramatic effect.
Okay, he's not gonna choose to not blink. Oh, no, you don't play that one.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't play
not.
that one.
I don't even think he has anything left to draw with it.
Wait, is that enough damage? Yeah, that's lethal. You crack in the summoning stone and you finish it with Thanatos.
It's lethal even before that, right? Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah, what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. He just needs to attack the summoning stone with
no.
both of his units.
Oh no.
Oh, he's gonna miss
7
lethal.
damage. He's got 7 damage on board.
Yeah, he had enough with the Kraken. That was 9, and the
Yeah.
Thanatos finishing the stone. But he's just focused on clearing. It seems like. No.
I think he just realized it because he just pushed that 5 damage in stone. He's gonna be kicking himself because that is game. That is literally a game right there. But I mean, he can just Thanatos that anyway. So it is either way. It's a full board clear, but he could have won.
He could have just won. What's gonna be the draw? Rain of Arrow. That's gonna clear so much. That he's still alive. He is still alive. Oh my God.
gosh, yes,
Bubbles
he is.
still alive with that rain
And
of
there's no more
arrows.
Scyllas in deck.
Oh my God. Is
So
that
he's
going
got
to be the
If
troll
Icheng
by
is running-
Icheng?
If Icheng is running a Fire Imp, he wins the game.
Oh no, he's not going to die to fatigue. The Kraken's gonna finish the game for him.
It's the Sylvanas, but that's not enough. He needed the charge. Oh, poor Bubbles.
Oh, did he play the 2 Blade Master? Am I missing something? I feel like I missed something.
Oh, it's the Deicide. Okay, so he must have played both Blade Masters, but either way, In Yo Face is gonna go ahead and smack down
Oh
that
my
summoning stone.
God.
That is a 30-minute epic. Not quite as long as the game
Wow.
with Chrono versus Singularity, which was like 42 minutes or something. But Deathwalker, why do we always get the long ones?
It doesn't matter, but this one was actually such a blast, and Icheng really stabilized with 2 health again. Oh my God,
yeah. Oh
that
my
was
God.
really, and like, here's like the thing, like all the decisions were really important like that. I hope that my games were more like this ones, like you get much more decision making than just playing a bunch of aggressive units and rushing down the summoning stone.
I feel like we have to think about that one for a little bit because I mean think about the mid game, right? We were raving on about how that Sylvanas just did so much work. It turns out it didn't matter.
Well, it still
Imagine
did a
if he
lot.
had
It
two of
still
them.
did a lot. Yeah. If he had drawn another one, meanwhile, I don't think there was a comeback from Icheng in that one.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, the Sylvanas was definitely the star of the show for Bubbles. What was the star of the show for you from Icheng?
Icheng.
Poseidon?
Yeah,
It's gotta be Poseidon, right?
the Poseidon just gave him not only the removal he needed, but also the Kraken to finish the game after he just didn't saw the lethal damage in that in that last sequence.
Yeah.
That could
Well,
have been
guys-
huge if the top deck would have been like a charge unit from Bologna.
If it would have been Fire Amp,
Yeah,
just-
Fire Amp or like Blade Masters or both enlists were played, yeah. But anything
Yeah,
that
both
was
enlists were.
pushing 2 damage, he would have really hated himself for not having to for having missed that lethal. But I can understand where you have so many stress and you're just trying to make the best play possible. Sometimes you just don't think about finishing the game.
but these guys, I mean, these are two of the best players in Europe. Icheng and Bubbles really duking it out there. And we saw Pot Pie play as well. He's always been up there very consistently. And going into DreamHack, let's take a peek at who has qualified then on the EU side of things to play in the Invitational tomorrow.
I mean, Bubbles Icheng should be there, right? Since they're like the finalists in this.
The finalists for Europe, it's going to be Bubbles, and first place. In second place, it's going to be Icheng. Third place is Pot Pie. Fourth seed is Belgian Grump. Fifth seed is our very own Sinbreed, who will be helping us cast the North American sets today. Tied for sixth is going to be Vojak and Namasil. And then Lutige is sitting in eighth place there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, keep in mind that
tournament.
these standings are, they're also taking consideration the last tournament. So
Yes.
this doesn't mean that anything for this particular tournament. That was just the first game of Icheng versus Bubbles. We're gonna come back with the second games for you guys.
Yep. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are in the first set of the grand finals here for the European side of things. Bubbles is looking for a reset, and he's on his way to doing so in game number 2. After results of the first game, we're in here. Ra from Icheng versus Bubbles' Bologna. Deathwalker, what are we looking at for this one?
Yeah, we're gonna see a Raw really different pick, you know what I'm saying, from the meta right now. And we're gonna see already Sobek's gonna be there, but it's not gonna be really useful. And that's one of the weaknesses of Sobek, right? He can be really snowbally, but if your opponent decides to not attack anything on your side in the earlier turns, you can't get that free buff on Sobek and make him snowball.
With the removal from leaders from the board, you could always, ping something into your leader so that you could heal your own leader and buff the Sobek that way. But with the removal from the leaders, I mean, Sobek has lost a lot of his appeal.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We're gonna see here, Bubbles is going to ponder, and we actually don't have the hand of Bubbles for this game. We had some issues getting this, so we're only gonna have the perspective of Yi-Chang here, and we're gonna be able to make ourselves, a little bit more into the role of Yi-Chang and how this game is going to move.
And looking at what he has in hand here, Execute, Magma Slam, Isis, Bastet, and Book of the Dead. A couple of cards very, very late game, and honestly, Isis requires a board for her to be really good. So it can be super tricky to be able to play this card, looking at what Yi-Chang's situation is.
Yeah, he's going to pick up another Sobek, but it's going to be a tough call here because you have to play only one card, right? It's going to be the Magma Slam. It's going to be really fast. Honestly, I think it's hard
between that and Bastet.
It's hard. It's not a matter of agreeing. It's more a matter of not disagreeing.
Yeah,
right?
That is true.
In that case, it's like, I don't think I disagree more than I agree. Sagittarius is going to spawn a Caldeer. That's going to be a fun one. And now...
But Scotty has certainly changed her appearance, hasn't she?
Yeah. and here's the thing, right? Yi-Chang here has single removal, but everything on the center bubble is like not something that you want to remove. So I guess we're going to play Bastet and Sobek here.
Sobek. Yeah. I mean, he's searching for Annihilation. If he finds that, I mean, he's just going to kill Bubbles with Beauty because that card is absolutely beautiful animation. But he's also going to remove the entire board. So let's find that one. There's 16 cards for him to do it.
If he can't, also. And I feel like Sobek is going probably to fall to the Archer here and like a Caldeer, for example. And you can just ignore that Bastet for the moment in time, right? You can just push with the Mercenary some damage into the stone if you wishes.
So, I mean, it's a 5-mana turn, so you're always thinking in the back of your mind, if you're Yi-Chang, what if he plays Giannis? And you have to worry about Giannis, you have to worry about a possible mana potion, Terra, mana potion, Sylvanas, there's tons of scary plays from Bubbles on this turn.
You have your Execute for that, right? Except the Sylvanas.
Yeah, that's the one I'm
Execute
terrified of.
Is going to deal with anything except Sylvanas, so there's also that. But right here, Bubbles really taking his time to think about every single situation, and it seems like, hey, I call it for this one. He's going to go ahead, hit the stone, and kill the Sobek. With a Mercury, though.
Mercury! Gotta go fast.
Yeah, gotta be fast.
Major look smacks that 1 health minion down to the dust. We're on the 6-mana turn for Ra, and
yeah, see, again, he has the option of an Execute, which is not really great. He's gonna take down the Caldeer, making some cats here. But what if his opponent has another Mercury?
Oh god, the murder, the slaughter, killing all of the kitties. Now, this is a 6-mana turn, so you're kind of expecting either Terra, Sylvanas. You still got Giannis in the back of your mind.
I'm expecting the Mercenary. I'm expecting Mercenary hitting the Neat, and then a Reign of Howard row to wipe the board. I'm calling it now.
Actually, that's true. And judging by where his mouse position is,
I call it.
You got it.
There you go.
Arrows. Oh, the murder.
And then he can do, whatever he wants with his 3 mana. That's not the important part here. It's the full reset of the board, the kill, pushing 5 damage, and he has 3 mana. Oh, you're right. Yeah, a full wipe. A full wipe.
That would be killing everything.
Yeah. The board wipe. He got the wipe on the Ra.
Now he's
And
got 3 mana to play whatever he wants. What are we thinking he's gonna pull out here?
he must have more than one choice if he takes so much time. It's
Marksman,
gonna be
right?
a marksman, which is
Yeah,
going to
okay.
die to the Sunder, but no, like you
I'm
said,
not too unhappy about that.
there's going to be a decrepit bowman, and sorry, there's going to be an Isis being played next turn, but there's not going to be any really board to go with
The
that.
execute, and honestly, that execute fills me with dread because I mean, the incoming Terra, right? Incoming Sylvanas.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it Blade Master for this one.
Blade Master, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Terra Sylvanas, but he's playing the card he got off the top.
Seems to.
Well, okay, now he's gone away from it again. All right.
I mean, that's
what he
he's
gets.
going to attack the summoning stone for sure with that
Yeah,
Sagittarius.
certainly. And
but-
there's no reason not to move it forward.
But
Okay.
it seems like
Held card. Held card and
Hmm.
moused in the bottom. Okay, so he's just going from his hand to the front of the stone, so it's a minion.
Oh, okay, never
And it's gonna
mind.
be the turret. And
Oh.
there's the Giannis.
Yana is gonna be a great pickup.
That's
and
so.
Ichang just picked the
Use
Anubis.
and execute.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, the Anubis here could also really. Cool, but
Can't move it.
gonna go and damage to the kind of interesting.
I mean,
Killing for
okay,
one.
so this turn, Bubbles controls the draw, which is so important. And let's see what he chooses. Maybe he'll play it, maybe he won't.
Yeah.
This is a really important turn because
It's
if Bubbles draws
unfortunate.
dead,
It's unfortunate that we cannot see the choice.
yes,
Right? In an UI
he's made his
update
decision.
for for the casting team, that would be amazing if we can actually see. And not only for that, but also for the discover cards. Whenever a player is discovering a card, will be amazing to have a look at that at the same time.
So let's see what he chose because it looked like he was mousing over the card that he decided to pick up, and maybe more importantly than what Bubbles chose is what Ichang gets. Because Bubbles gets to place a card on the top of Ichang's deck, controlling what he will draw, which is so important.
Yeah, Raw is no longer going to have cards of his own deck. He's only going to have them if Bubble decides to not pick it up for him before giving the other one to Ichang. So there's the Blade Master. A turn too late, but still. Oh, with a sweet disarmable here, and it's going to keep pushing some damage. Do you advance your Giannis? I guess you can.
There's no reason to. You've got so much damage on the board already, and you're still controlling draws.
But there's no reason to not advance your Giannis. That's what I'm saying. Because now it's out of range.
That's true. Well, actually, no, because he already played Anubis.
Yeah, not only that, but even a Blade Master will not kill him. There's really nothing alone that could kill him.
Well, I guess Sunder plus Blade Master could. So there's a argument to stay out of range of Blade Master.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
And it looks like the card that Bubbles chose to give Ichang was a Bastet. So it's very possible that Dishonorable was off the top there from the Giannis. He's already made his choice for this turn. Let's see what
He's
he got.
gonna blink his Giannis to get the damage, I assume.
Okay. Yep. Does he have 2 damage? Did he draw Magnus Land for the lethal?
Enlist. Come on, show me that enlist. No?
List or Annihilation or... There's so many lethal outs for Bubbles at this point. Every single turn.
Don't
The tension is killing me, dude.
Yeah, don't tell me it's gonna be another Blade Master, because he could have moved his archer out of the way.
I mean, worst case scenario, if Ichang stabilizes somehow and Bubbles doesn't kill him and he plays the Isis and removes the board, it all of a sudden looks really scary. Oh, that's a Sylvanas. Never mind.
That's going to be probably sealing the game here, just because the Sylvanas is going to be able to be blinked and moved to attack from 3 range. So Sylvanas now, it doesn't seem like it, but he covers 8 tile. So yeah,
So you
8 tile range.
Do you have to run your Bastet up and right, or right and up, and suicide it and hope the cats go get in the way of Sylvanas?
Oh, yeah, but only 3 cats who won't be able to do it. He can go all of the 3 rows plus a blink. So you need to have like 2-3 body blockers there. That's so impossible to do right now.
Yeah.
Still, he's not gonna have enough. He's gonna draw a card. I like that. Oh, the annihilation! 1 mana off!
He has appeasement, but it's not enough.
Oh man, that could have actually still give him some time to react to the Sylvanas, killing him this turn and then moving forward. But now it's gonna be 1 mana. Oh, the appeasement was not. He would have needed to play the appeasement first, and he's going to surrender. And Bubbles is going to finally equalize the set and force a game 3.
And force a game 3, and maybe through forcing that game 3, he can force a bracket reset if he gets those hot draws again. And hey, maybe we'll see Ichang bring back that Ra, because we haven't seen a lot of that guy, a lot of the Chicken Man very lately. A lot of Kraken Men though. But we'll be bringing you the third set in the or the third game in the first set of the EU Grands here in just another minute. Hello everybody and welcome back. We're in game 3 of the first set of the grand finals in the European side of things. Ichang taking on Bubbles, and Bubbles is looking for the bracket reset. It's going to be Ra versus Nua, Illy, and Deathwalker here. Deathwalker, what are we looking at?
Yeah, we're gonna see, something really interesting right now, and it's going to be Ra. And in my opinion, Egypt is one of the weakest Pantheon, and I'm really surprised Ichang is bringing the Pantheon. I don't know if it was more like a pocket strat to surprise the players with a different style of Ra, but yeah, we're gonna see how he's going to do. Versus, in my opinion, and what is the meta deck right now, the strong Chinese one from Bubbles here.
And I mean, if you're looking at the hand of the Ra player, he's got Book of the Dead in his opening hand, which has got to feel really bad.
Not call attention to
yeah, we're gonna see a Crescent Blade after pondering a lot of time. Probably deciding if you wanted to use a Mana Potion to go with an Imperial Guard, and the Sobek is going to start to get some damage, but the hand of Ra just doesn't have a good curve right now.
And I mean, Ra did nothing. He played a great turn 1, and then his second turn, his 3-mana turn, just he floated 3 mana. So he literally did nothing that turn. He pushed 1 damage.
And now we're gonna see, We're gonna see what next turn from Ra. We're gonna see a Sunder heal.
Oh,
But Decrepit Bowman's gonna save him.
Pick me.
Yeah, the draw is gonna really be really important here for I Chang. Going with the Decrepit Bowman, but then the Sobek. Sobek's gonna what?
I mean,
You're gonna deal a damage to the stone or damage to the guard? Because then you die to the Crescent Blade if you attack the guard, which is not what you want.
I guess you push stone, right?
Yeah, but okay. Well,
Or you
when we
run
say
away?
that,
Okay.
okay, so he's going to try and bring the.
I feel like you just push the 1 damage, right? Instead of.
Ooh,
Wait.
we're gonna
He's
see a
gonna play
Sunder.
the Sunder as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's more mana efficient, but what do you? Are you just planning on playing one of your 5 mana cost minions next turn? Like, it doesn't give you any play around for, you know, heal buffing your Sobek into pushing.
Yeah, I think the Neat's gonna be the play, just to have that, you know, that global range with the Neat's gonna be really important here.
Pretty nasty, yeah. I mean, Neath is a good card, absolutely. I'm not saying his 2 5-drops aren't good, but what if you get into a circumstance where you can heal buff your Sobek to trade into the 2/2?
Yeah,
now that option is basically off the table.
We're gonna see an Hebois coming down,
Come and go with
and we're gonna see what a Crescent Blade. What boosted
No,
the?
he's just gonna.
What?
Coin.
Oh, the coin. Okay. The mana potion, you mean?
Mana
I
potion.
get you. So yeah, now it's gonna be a rough spot. You know, I Chang played the Sunder. Now he's not gonna be able to remove any one of these targets. Gonna be forced to
Gonna play the Decrepit? Okay.
Decrepit Bowman. Yeah, because then you know it's resilient against the Imperial Guard.
That's true, but isn't the Neath just better? I guess not, because it just dies.
It
either
dies to
way.
a Crescent Blade with the Imperial Guard. Like, that was really bad choice if you went for the Neath.
What about the Dune Warrior? What is that card?
It's a 4/6 if I remember right, and he gets +2 attack each time you heal something. 4/6 would have survived, but if we look at his hand, no, it would have not
It
survived.
wouldn't have survived.
With these Crescent Blade already piled up, and this is what I was saying when it was really versatile and flexible and resilient coming from the Chinese Pantheon, where you can just take these Crescent Blades and keep them for the mid game, for the late game, for basically when you need them. And we're gonna see a Sagittarius coming down here. We could even see an Ao Kuang being aggressive, because if Ao Kuang is played here, this is force I Chang, if he has an execute, to use it.
I am a bit hungry.
Yep. And that's I do like the Ao Kuang there. It's gonna push out what you want to do, right? As Nua, you want to get spell damage on the board, get the stick, and just kill off whatever I Chang can put on the board, which works in Bubble's favor pretty heavily.
I don't want him to see the Crescent Link being used, because there's nothing that deal 1 damage in the Raw Pantheon. So, you know, there's not that Decrepit Bowman's not going to be able to kill that soldier right there. And we're going to see Anubis played, and the Decrepit's still going to be out of range of anything. Oh, the draw being the Isis draw from I Chang here could really curve out well with the Book of the Dead if he survived that. And I feel like he's going to get to that 8 mana and to that 9 mana, because he still has 23 health.
But in what state will he be when he gets there, right? Because if you play Isis on an empty board, it doesn't mean much.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. What are the options here for Nuai? 2 Crescent Blades Mercenary is going to be able to kill the Anubis if he chooses to. He can also go with Sagittarius Mercenary. That's the play you want. You just want to be sure that the Sagittarius doesn't spawn on the only spot where the Mercenary can be spawned to kill the Anubis. Right?
That's true. Yep.
Oh.
So it's RNGesus? Oh, RNGesus. He was praying to his RNGesus, and he got what he wanted there. It's going to be a 2-mana 5/5 with charge. Turns out that's pretty good.
Yep, it is. And then you can just use the rest of your army to just attack that Summoning Stone. And of course, this time you use your Crescent Blade to kill that Archer, because you want that 5/1 to survive. And remember when I was saying that he may see the 8th mana mark? Well, maybe he's not going to see it after all. And we're going to see a surrender here from I Chang. Bubble, with their bracket reset, is going to head into another set versus Ichang to see if he can beat him a second time and, you know, take this tournament and the $100 that come with it.
Absolutely, and we'll see you guys there in just a couple minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's the bracket reset. Bubbles and Ichang in the grand finals of Europe tonight, and we are in the second set of this match here. Bubbles on the left as Nuwa, Ichang on the right as the other Nuwa. And I am Ilian alongside me as Deathwalker. Getting into this game here, Death, what are we looking at?
I really like that Bubbles this time choose to not go with the Bellona first. Maybe he was thinking that he was going to face Greek. So we're going to see right off the bat a mirror into Nuwa's. Ichang Nuwa is a little bit different for those who are wondering because he has one of the exclusive, not exclusive, but you know, one of the newest skins in the game, which is basically a different model with different voice lines for Nuwa.
So
except
it gives
that,
an advantage, right?
No, there is no gameplay. There's no gameplay changes for that. But talking about gameplay here, Bubbles.
I think your RNG is better.
Oh, your RNG is better? Yeah, that could be one of the. You know, it's a secret. Nobody knows, but us.
Don't tell anybody.
So yeah, we're gonna see here Bubbles already struggling on the board and having nothing already, and he doesn't have really good choices here.
Yeah, it was super unfortunate that Imperial Guard that he played down got bounced by the Hebo and Recall. One of the strongest effects in this game. You're seeing a nerf, but it's still definitely playable. We're looking at his 4 mana turn, and I mean, I'm seeing replay that Imperial Guard.
But it's gonna get poked from the Decrepit Bowman here. That seems like that's a really hard start for Bubble.
Okay, the Habla and then the Crescent Blade, though, will completely wipe his opponent's board. I say wipe, but he's still got an Imperial Guard in hand. Probably the better play.
Yeah, you can go with, like, Soldier and make another Crescent Blade, yeah? I think that's the play. You can also go with the crippled one again.
Go for it.
But that's more mana efficient, right? So you get the best out of it.
Is very important.
It is. I think he's just maybe trying to take some time here to think what he's going to do into the next turns. And
yeah, he's going to go ahead and... Yeah, I agree. You might as well clear the unit. You're probably not going to use that Crescent Blade with an Alquang. This early in the game, you can't count on that. So just go ahead and play it, get it off the board. But speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Alquang sitting in the hand of Bubbles, do you play the Ao Kuang this turn, or do you Imperial Guard, make a blade?
You Imperial Guard and make a blade. To have that surprise whenever you're gonna play the Ao Kuang, you're gonna be able after to spam the blades that you were stockpiling.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Ao Kuang's a great card, but he's not that great if you don't have a lot of Crescent Blades in hand. So play the card that allows you to stockpile for the future.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, if for some reason that Imperial soldier can get to your unit, at least you're not going to lose the Ao Kuang.
Make a wish.
Yep. And there's the recall coming out, and that speedy little bugger's going to run across the field and smack that stone for 4.
And now we're going to see probably the Ao Kuang being dropped in combination of the Crescent Blade that he made last turn to shut down that soldier.
I agree. I think that's the safest option there. You've already seen a bunch of recall effects. 3 or 2 recall effects from I Chang.
I think we saw Nabois and a recall the card itself.
Yeah, so only 2 recall effects, but you know it severely lessens the chance that your Ao Kuang's just going to get shut down. But Sun Wukong is also an option. You know, it still deals the 2 damage, develops a bigger body, and like you were talking about, you still have that surprise effect of smacking down that Ao Kuang and all of a sudden doing 2 billion damage.
I love that, because right now, you know, Sun Wukong is only effective if it's around your summoning stone, while Ao Kuang is going to be effective anywhere in the map. Not only that, but now on the 7-mana turn, he has the option to go with Ao Kuang Rushing Thunder if he chooses to. That's also really powerful.
It is, and you would be able to kill one of those Decrepit Fractures if you so choose. But I'm also looking at Imperial Archer, and I'm wondering if there's a line that involves that card.
It could actually, but
So what if you, and I don't necessarily know that this is the best play, but what if you Imperial Archer and then Mercenary?
And then a Crescent Blade.
And then cast a Crescent Blade, exactly. So then you ping once, you've got a that's pretty good percentage chance of connecting with the ping, and then you can charge that Imperial Soldier or that Mercenary in, excuse me.
And yeah,
damage.
you can also always
too,
Unless you're fighting
Okay,
a dragon,
well.
This allows you to make a blade.
do you go for the rushing? No, you don't need to.
No, I don't.
You
think
just
so.
make
You can
another
just
blade.
use that next turn.
Yeah,
Yeah, you make another blade.
You're good.
Stockpile.
No stress. And that's really one of the keys, right? Whenever you're
Yeah,
gonna
just-
see a Guan Yu, for example, coming down, you want to have also these Crescent Blades to combine it with it. And as we're looking at the ends, both of the ends are pretty similar, but I Chang
I'm a bit hungry.
is going to play his own Ao Kuang combined with 3 blades to kill down his opponent. Ao Kuang. Sorry.
Slightly inefficient, but it should be okay here. I'm expecting Blade Master this turn. What are you thinking?
Blade Master. Does he have any other choice? He doesn't have another Ao Kuang, so that's definitely less. So you will go with like Blade Master Crescent Blade to get rid of the Ao Kuang, which
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
it's not bad honestly. But your Blade Master is going to die to the Decrepit Fractures on board already, which is a little bit sad.
I mean, it's sad, but at the end of the day, the Blade Master did its job.
It did. Yeah, I think I agree, because you heal, which is going to be really helpful. Always, you know, if you were at 25 health, it wouldn't be that efficient because you will not heal. But you will heal.
Yeah.
You will kill the Ao Kuang, and that's forcing your opponent to kill your Blade Master for sure. And he only has 3 cards.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You're less worried about card efficiency if you're Bubbles at this point because you have so many resources, but maybe he sees a line we don't, because here comes the Imperial Sniper, going to go ahead and ping the Ao Kuang, setting it at 3 HP.
Oh my god, I love that.
The Mercenary. It's so spicy, right? Because you have to get that Imperial Sniper at least 1 out of 2 times. So you've got a 50-50 chance twice, and one of them's got to hit.
Yeah, see, that was really, really a good play. And he's keeping the Blade Master and developing a board. I mean, he's developing board, yes and no, but a 1-3 is not going to be powerful, but it's mainly the effect that he brings to the table that's going to be really something.
Talk about effect. That's 2 Imperial Guards in 1 turn. I mean, you can't let this sit, right? You have to Blade Master one of these.
Yeah, you Blade Master, you creep the Crescent Blade, and then you're good. That's about it. Like, already killing half of them is gonna be great. You don't want them to go snowball out of control.
Yeah. Do you, after you play the Blade Master and create the Crescent Blade, do you ever ping the other Imperial Guard to try to get the Imperial Sniper to smack it?
There's no point. Like, there's no thing. You can't remove him this turn, so you better just leave your Imperial Archer in the back there. Of course, if some Wukong comes down, it can kill the Archer, but then he will not kill the Blade Master if he does that. Because that guard is going to be probably dedicated to kill the Blade Master.
So you gotta. I think we're both in agreement. We're both looking at the Blade Master here. Create the blade.
It's really effective.
Yeah, and like I was saying last turn, it still holds true. You have a lot more resources, so not only is it more effective than last turn's play, but you remove a 2/4 that can snowball heavily while also creating more fuel for another possible Outclang draw.
Yeah, we're gonna see Rushing Thunder being pick up. It's gonna help, honestly, especially with the Ao Kuang. So he's gonna be able to combine Ao Kuang, Rushing Thunder, with his Imperial Archer to get a full clear on the Bubbles board, which is not something that.
What do you think about playing Emperor's Prize?
Not this turn.
Instead of the removal.
Not this turn. I think you really want to have board control. And then, you know, if you don't remove the Blade Master, then you're just losing your Imperial Guard. So you're basically drawing a card to kill a card on your board, which is not really effective.
Well, you could still kill it, because you could still cross
Know
it.
your enemy. Know
Oh, you're right. You're right. Oh, well, that could totally also work.
unless you're
But now it's going to.
But this is also pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still does the same difference, right?
It does.
Except because you can probably draw next turn anyway.
Yeah, so I like the positioning from Icheng also playing around the Dragon King. If there's something in Bubble Sand with so many cards, you will assume that they could be one, and we know because we can see at the hands that there is one sitting there. Do you use it to kill the Ao Kuang though?
That's tricky. Because the Ao Kuang might represent more damage than the Imperial Guard, but I think most of the time the Imperial Guard is actually scarier.
No, because it's a matter of being effective, right? You can play your Imperial Archer on the back, then you go with Dragon King on the Ao Kuang, sorry, and then you have 2 Crescent Blades to hit the Imperial Guard.
That's true, but I'm also thinking ahead and saying, when I play my Sun Wukong, what would I rather see on board? And honestly, I'd rather see an Outclang on board if I play my Sun Wukong.
Oh, I see.
In an Imperial Guard? Because like Imperial Guard just hammers on it every turn and just deals with it over the period of 1 or 2 turns.
Because I was
Whereas
playing.
your Outclang has to trade at least.
Yeah, I was playing more of a value game with that. Oh my god, he's going to be going to the draw.
This is extra value.
But why?
This is really greedy.
So he used the Hu Yi to protect his Imperial Guard. That is really, really funny.
I mean, he's kind of going by that same reasoning we had a couple turns ago where, you can always do this next turn. And you can always Dragon King next turn. And I don't think what's on board is threatening enough at this point where you have to play the Dragon King. And there's a lot of surprise factor, You might get to a point where Icheng has to line up a couple units and boom! There's 3 damage extra value.
We're gonna see a Crescent Blade and a second Crescent Blade being played. I'm actually surprised. Does mean he's going to play the Blade Master this turn? It feels like this is going to be the line of play.
Yeah, I mean, it heals you for 2 rather than 3, so it's 1 less, but you have a wall of units staring down Bubbles the Summoning Stone, which has got to feel bad for him. Icheng is looking at a really good spot to steal this one.
See, now if you play Dragon King here, it's really not effective. And, he got punished for not removing the Ao Kuang hard. He got really punished hard.
And I mean, should he have known? I think he should have known about that other Crescent Blade in hand, right?
Yeah, as a player, you shouldn't count the amount of time that your opponent makes a Crescent Blade. So yeah, he should have been aware of that. Now, I think there's there's no outs here. There any? Oh, Hebois. Hebois could actually help. Remove the Ao Kuang, for example. And
So you remove the Ao Kuang, and then you have 7 mana left.
yeah, you can Dragon King the Blade Master and finish him off with a blade, if you choose to.
Yeah, I think that's got to be a line, right?
Must flow
I think
together.
so. See, like we're gonna see the Hebois coming down. Okay.
Okay. What does this do?
Oh, he already has a Crescent Blade in hand, so he's gonna be he doesn't have the
But
mana.
he doesn't have Ao Kuang. So he's playing. He wants to get the 6/7 on board now, while he has the life total to do so. I think that's his thought.
Oh wow, he's going to go ahead and draw 2 cards.
Oh, he got the Blade Master.
That's gonna be it. That's
Yeah,
gonna be a game.
that's it, right?
Exactly, Lethal. Chang winning the first game of the second set in their Grand Finals reset.
Yeah, and we've got game 2 coming up here. Chang won't be able to play this winning Nuwa deck again, so we'll have to see how he fares against Bubbles' Nuwa in the next game. Hello everybody and welcome back. It's game 2 of the second set of the Grand Finals. Chang taking on Bubbles. And after Bubbles forced the bracket reset, we are now in the second game. And Bubbles dropped that first game in the Nuwa mirror, but here we are, Chang on Zeus, Deathwalker alongside me. What are we looking at in this game so far?
So Bubble decided to replay the Nuwa instead of changing to his Bellona, which in the last set was the winner against Zeus. And we're not gonna see Chang's Raw anymore, surprisingly enough. And
Well, I mean, we'll see if he keeps pushing this set through, right?
I mean, I think that if you're going to, like, in my perspective, Raw was much more of a pocket pick, right? It's like surprise your opponent. But once you play it, I don't think you lose that surprise factor here. Scylla's gonna take down Hebois here real fast, but will be easily killed by the Crescent Blade next turn if Bubbles chooses to. But yeah, like I was saying, Illy here, I think it was really more for the surprise. Maybe we're gonna see it here in next turn if Bubbles wins it. But I don't think I don't think really that.
I think I would stick with Zeus too.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you get the shiny skin, so like.
Oh yeah, you get the secret RNG bonus with that, right?
Yeah.
Here's a hard choice, honestly. If you make a Crescent Blade, you just play out off curve. But then if you play a Sagittarius, you lose your Imperial Guard. So yeah, he's going to go with the safe play.
I think the Crescent Blade is perfectly fine there. I mean, it's literally spend 2 mana to deal 4 damage. So I think that's okay.
4 damage? What do you mean?
Yeah, you push 3 to stone.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. If you look at it, that effectively it was the bad side of the thing was he still had 2 mana and he couldn't do anything about it.
Then it's 4 mana to deal 4 damage. Either way, I think that's okay.
Zeus here is gonna have some interesting choices to do. I mean,
Ooh,
interesting.
yeah.
There's not a good one. Did I say?
I mean, yeah, kinda. I mean,
Dive
you're
in.
not far off. Inyo isn't even that good at this point. And Inyo is one of the best cards in Zeus. So, I mean, he could get punished super hard if only Bubbles had a few more spells in hand.
Yeah, he's gonna have the Ao Kuangs, but like you were saying a couple of games ago, Ao Kuang is really powerful if you have the Crescent Blades to back it up.
Yep, and that's exactly what Bubbles doesn't have at the moment. The Crescent Blade last turn was great for that individual turn, but for this turn, you're almost wishing you had it in hand.
Yeah. But I think that you gotta do it, right? You gotta play an Ao Kuang.
Oh yeah, no, the Crescent Blade last turn was certainly correct, but you wish you had more turns to develop, because you're sitting on so much late game if you're Bubbles right now. You've got your Sun Wukong and double Ao Kuang and a Blade Master, and you don't have any Crescent Blades, and it looks like your 5 mana turn is going to be spent developing a 2/2 and making a Crescent Blade.
Ooh, yep, that could also be an option. But an Ao Kuang can also be played in bag.
That is true.
Like, if you play Ao Kuang in the back, it also means that next turn you can go Sagittarius Crescent Blade. But no, it's gonna take your line of play and it's going to go with that. And it's gonna use it right away. And yeah, that's not a bad play. It's gonna force the Annual to trade in one of the two.
Okay.
Or will it?
So your Inyo's got to go into the Imperial Guard, right? I mean, that's just too good of a trade.
Yeah, there's no way. Like, even a Zeus buffing the Anyo, it's not gonna make her live. So I guess you're right. But then, is that gonna be an Athena?
It's an Aphrodite. Oh, the Afro Kiss! We completely ignored the Afro Kiss.
You're right.
So actually, the Afro Kiss plus the Zeus ability is gonna let the Inyo live.
Yeah, and it's gonna get a free kill onto the Imperial Guard. And
it protects it against the Bowman. That's really good.
And right here is why Bubble should have not used the Crescent Blade ASAP. Because now he doesn't have the Crescent Blade to combine with the Ao Kuang, you know what I'm saying?
Right. If he would have waited 1 turn, that Inyo would be dead this turn.
Yeah, exactly. Assuming that he moved his Imperial Guard out of range of the Anyo, of course.
Well, yeah, but I mean, either way, right? You're still in a better position, I think.
It's gonna be interesting here. Bubbled, a lot of high cost cards, but
Mercenary?
Mercenary's gonna take down that Aphrodite, right? It's gonna be a 4/4 Mercenary.
That's a pretty good Mercenary. It could be noted that it could also have killed the Inyo, but that would have been a misplay because you have an Archer on board that can do that after you remove the Protect.
So that's gonna be really effective turn. With the resources that Bubble had, he got really lucky to get that Mercenary off the top deck. It was off the top, right?
Yes it was. Yep, because he already had Sagittarius, so the Mercenary was indeed off the top.
Is he? What is he? Oh,
I mean, you obviously kill the Inyo, right?
No, I think he's playing around Athena? I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's a really good call. He has to be playing around Athena right now.
Yeah, he doesn't want it to put on the top, because then Athena kills his Bowman and kills his... Oh, it seems like he doesn't matter after all. He's still gonna kill both.
What if you Scylla here instead? What if you Scylla Judgment?
Judgment... Oh, it seems like that's
You can Judgment the Decrepit and then...
Ooh, that's even better!
I forgot that card existed. Not gonna lie.
Oh my god. That's gonna be what?
4 damage.
Dive-in Vengeance. Dive-in Vengeance is gonna come down and clear the board of Bubbles. But honestly, Bubbles still has a really strong board, like, hand. With all the late game is in his hand right now. Like, now it's the time to put an Ao Kuang Crescent Blade, right?
Yes, that is exactly what I was gonna say. Sun Wukong looks tempting, but oh my, the aggression, violence is the answer. Says Bubbles, and he plays down the Blade Master. He's gonna push damage right away instead of stockpiling Crescent Blades.
Interesting. I'm wondering.
Not my personal choice.
I mean, he does have the Dragon King. Okay, so
That's
technically you only need 10 damage.
That
But
is very true. I think you get more damage faster by playing the Sun Wukong, however.
now, for his defense, this play was around Phantom Grasp,
and
which
Deicide.
is in hand of Zeus. Playing any other gods, like if you play Wukong and then you get the Phantom Grasp still, you would have almost lost the game there.
Yeah, and the Blade Master is a minion, so Deicide doesn't work with it against it either. And looks like the Nim and the Scylla are sitting on board.
That's gonna be a hard one. There's
So what's your play? Like,
yeah, that's exactly what I'm.
King the Nemesis?
Is there anything good right here that could come from Bubbles? I mean, you're not dying yet. That's for sure. But you have nothing.
I mean, using the Dragon King this turn feels awful. So I gotta. I mean, you.
No. Yeah, I got it. You go with the Sun Wukong Crescent Blade to kill the Scylla.
Okay, but then you're still not stockpiling Crescent Blades for your Alquangs.
Yeah,
So
but
what if you Alquang make a blade?
well, yeah, but then the Scylla's gonna get a free kill on your Alquang, and then she's gonna be a monster, and then you're not gonna stop her.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then all of your other units are going to die to the monster, no matter what. So.
But then you just Alquang Crescent Blade because you have a Crescent Blade in hand and you can kill it, right?
Yeah, but you're gonna only but it's gonna cost you 2 Crescent Blades over 2 turns and 2 Alquang.
Let's not call
It's gonna go with
But
the Sun
there's
Wukong.
the initial play that you had called Sun Wukong Make a Blade, and there's still a 3/5 Nemesis on board, and here comes a Phantom Grasp. I gotta think.
Yeah, you don't have to think twice about this one.
Yeah.
Just Phantom Grasp.
Pretty easy one.
Get some damage in. Move there if you choose to so. For some reason. Right?
Bubbles is fighting for his tournament life here, trying to keep himself alive in this EU finals.
That is true. Icheng is on tournament point match here. If he wins this, Icheng is going to win the tournament and guarantee his spot to go to DreamHack. No, it's gonna guarantee the spot. Sorry, to compete in the top 8 finalists to be able to win a spot to go to DreamHack Valencia. Yeah. So it's gonna be really good. He seems like he's a decent position now, especially that he still the Phantom Grasp, the Sun Wukong with his Phantom Grasp.
Oh my gosh, he's in more than a decent position. This is insane. Like, literally, Bubbles has to wait for next turn so he can Alquang Dragon King and kill his own Sun Wukong. Like, that's the position he's looking at right now.
Hero
He's
Sorter.
gonna do it this turn? Okay,
Yeah,
so
it
he's gonna
seems to.
use the Rushing Thunder then. Okay.
Or Crescent Blade.
Or Crescent Blade is better. You're right. Crescent Blade is much better.
I think so. Maybe he's not
Because
sure.
Rushing Thunder can be comboed with Alquang for more overall damage.
And the Rushing Thunder next turn also. So that's gonna be the end of his own. He just wasted the whole turn and another legendary to kill that Sun Wukong. Double Tanith those.
That was his own card.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
killed his own legendary.
That Medusa, that Nemesis is just going up and down for fun.
And
4/6.
just look, he's got 2 Thanatoses in hand. Like, oof.
I
And
mean,
another divine card draw thingy. To,
yeah, Divine Intervention,
Zeus.
which
Yeah,
not
that
the
one.
same as the Divine Vengeance that we saw earlier, wiping the board of Bubbles.
So, I mean, do you just play what's in your hand and just 5-2-3?
Oh, yeah, that could be an
Which
option.
feels horrible.
But keep in mind, he's going to take 5 plus 4. It's gonna take 9 damage on the next turn.
Don't forget to add in the Zeus buff.
Know your enemy.
Yeah, I think
Know
I added it.
yourself, and victory
Right?
will be assured.
Yep.
But you could move
5,
Unless
4.
your Nemesis so that it does 4 and... Oh yeah, 5 plus 4, you did.
I know, Ellie. With you, maths is always hard. Don't worry.
It is! Math is so difficult. I'm American. I don't do math. I have a
well,
calculator.
you know, if some of you can do math here, there's nothing that Bubbles could play that kill either the Nemesis or the Athena, which he's going to keep it all in his hand to try and combo with another Alquang next turn and getting the maximum value, or forcing his opponent to attack his Alquang. But I mean, here's the tricky part, right? If he buffs the Nemesis and moves the Nemesis out of range of the Alquang, she will lose an attack, and then she will not be enough to kill the Alquang. So that's a little mistake that a lot of players were doing, but now it seems like it's just going to be an Athena and a Thanatos. And with that,
it allows you to still push full damage to stone. And there's the Kraken Man in hand as well, which is super important because now you're on a 2-turn, you're on a 2 damage per turn clock once you play Kraken Man, which I gotta assume is coming up next turn. Kraken Man, yeah, that's what he is.
Love that.
You can't call him Fishman because we already have one of those.
What? But didn't you call him Fishman? Yeah, you call him Fishman in 2 sets.
He's
ago.
either the Fishman, but he can't be Fishman. I like to call him Kraken
Oh, I see. Kraken Man. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna call it Poseidon. I think it's gonna be a little bit easier for
Nah,
me.
that's too vanilla.
So Bubble here is lots of cards that he can play, but I don't think there's any of them that's going to save him, right? Even with Alquang, Rushing Thunder, and 2 Crescent Blades, and all of that damage is gonna be also doubled. Seems like it's just not gonna be enough.
What about the bounce? Does the bounce save him? It doesn't, does it?
What you're going to bounce?
Know your enemy.
Bounce a Nemesis?
Know yourself.
Nemesis.
And
At that
victory
point,
will be
you
assured.
gotta have no choice. I want to see the Rushing Thunder. That's one thing for sure. You're gonna play the Rushing Thunder. Then
Yeah.
you can think about your choices, right? You
Crescent.
can go with a bounce on the Nemesis and a Crescent Blade in there. Yeah, I think the bounce is gonna be
Most
better.
on the board.
Yeah.
But
Man.
no Kraken Man's here. Oh, Deicide. Oh, that's a good draw.
Yep, that is, and the Tatho is going to take care of the other of the Hebois here.
Yep.
So still having the control of this game, Icheng, especially with 5 cards versus Bubbles at 1.
So now I would like to see, for one, the Nemesis come out first and steal health from the Alquang, and then have the Deicide hit. That way,
You can steal
That
1
would-
health. You're
you
gonna
know,
be you're gonna
a
be
little more on the board. I mean, buffing the Thanatos is fine too, or buffing the Afro is fine too.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think Nemesis can steal a life from a target that only has
Let's
1
not
health.
call
Oh, you were saying on
No,
the
that's why
Alquang.
you'd steal from the Alquang.
Okay,
right.
okay. I thought you were saying on the Hebois. Yeah, I was a little bit confused.
Because
here.
you would, the idea is you add +1 attack with your buff, but by playing a Nemesis, you get 2 attacks next turn rather than 1 attack and then 1 attack.
You're right.
It's a matter of perspective.
Yeah, and also that you have 2 Nemesis, so
It also doesn't matter.
there's that point.
Both
Does it,
lines
though?
win the game.
Does it? Because right now he's gonna have he's gonna have 6 damage plus the Kraken. He's gonna have 7 damage plus the Kraken. He's gonna actually have 8 damage without the Kraken. So you know what I'm saying? Just buffing the Aphrodite, moving into the range. I think the Crescent Blade cannot kill the flag, right? Yeah, he cannot kill the flag, so that's gonna
you can't target him.
finish
That's
him.
game right there. Boom. Thanatos with the scythe to end all scythes, ending that summoning stone and ending Bubbles' life after a wonderful reset. Icheng manages to pull it out, and that is the end of our EU finals. And that is the end of the EU side of this Valencia qualifier for week 2. And let's take a peek at the end results for this particular tournament. On the EU side of things, that means Bubbles is in first place with 27 points. Icheng is in second place with 23 points. Pot Pie is in third place with 22 points. Belgian Grump taking up fourth with 14 points. Sinbreed, our very own caster who will be helping us out with the NA side of things today, is going to be on the board in 5th place with 13 points. In 6th place, tied, is Voljak and Namasil with 9 points respectively. And bringing up 8th place is going to be Lutige with 8 points. And this is the part of the next stage of the Valencia qualifiers, an 8-player invitational from both regions. That's Europe's, and we will see you guys later today for the rest of America. It's going to be 2 more casters taking it away in just a few minutes.
Hello everybody, welcome to the NA Losers Finals. Sorry, the American Losers Finals. We have both Americas playing in this tournament, but this is our second DreamHack qualifier. My name is Strixus, I'm here with Sinbreed, and we've got a new mirror in the form of C4 versus Baconator.
Yeah, so unfortunately here we do not have Mr. C4's hand. We can only speculate on what he has in his hand this game. But we have Baconator's hand, at least.
Yeah, and it kind of allows us to play as if we were Baconator. Like we get to talk through this game as if we're Baconator. We get to, you know, think about what his lines are, what the potential lines from C4 might be. And this is a interesting potential line that became an actuality from C4. Gallus has risen to playable in this meta after being considered pretty close to trash for a number of patches.
Yeah, he's not been getting a lot of spotlight, but I wonder if C4 or Mr. C4 has been talking to Kenny, because I know that Kenny ran this last tournament with some Galas.
Yeah, you know, the spell immunity with the rise of these Nuwa decks, we see both of them right here. Rise of spell-heavy decks in Nuwa, even, you know, Roman decks are running pretty spell-heavy lists. Greek has got a lot of powerful spells. You just have a lot of things that you want to counter with this spell immunity, and Gallus gives you a 1/6 body, and if you're running Transfusion too, that's a 6/6 body that you could potentially even get off of this guy.
Exactly, and I'm gonna say that I was running that last week in the EU qualifiers. I got to do it once, and it was amazing.
Yeah, dude, it's super cute.
But I lost that game, I think.
Oh no.
So
feels bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like we've been saying, the spell immunity has been a question of choice. Oh, that's such a good Sagittarius. Oh, that's such a good Sagittarius. He got an Imperial Guard off of his Sagittarius, a card that synergizes so well with Nuwa inherently. And now he just has 2 of them. Baconator is 2.
Yeah, like, there's so many bad hits for him in this game, and like, I think that's probably one of the top 3 at least that he could hope for.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But as you were in on before with the Gallus and spell immunity, like as we can see in Baconator's hand here, he does have Rushing Thunder and Siphon Mind. So his Summoning Stone right now cannot take damage from Siphon Mind.
Right.
It's also immune to spells. The Rushing Thunder won't do anything as well. So it's just gonna turtle up in this corner here and basically like tell Baconator to come to me and I'll just shoot down your stuff.
Another thing about spell immunity we have, there's a Celestial Guard in hand for for Baconator. We've seen some players waffling between these two. I've actually personally talked with C4 about this kind of thing, and he's been unsure about which one he thinks is better. But Celestial Guard now gives permanent spell immunity to the target of the spell, and with a Guan Yu in hand, this could be a particularly nasty Celestial Guard. If you get to hold onto your Guan Yu just long enough for it to wipe the board 1 or even 2 times, you're basically in a great position to win the game.
I totally agree. Like, it's a very like interesting thing to like choose between, because like either you give your team spell power, but itself doesn't have protection, so it's easier to pick off, and you can still trade your units into it. But the cheap mana cost, and you just want to protect. If you just go into for protect your Guan Yu, I think that Celestial Guard might be a little better as a card.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, the cheaper mana cost by a little bit can be pretty nice. Obviously, it only hits 1 unit, whereas Gallus can hit up to 8, although it's not going to always. I like where he is right now. Protecting even these 2 means that Crescent Blade isn't going to do anything. This projection is dead on board for the most part at the moment. What do you play right here if you're Baconator? Do you just drop the Sun Wukong?
You could do that, or you could basically Siphon Mind here and get to draw another card.
Yeah, the Gallus isn't next to the stone anymore.
Yeah, it goes for the Sun Wukong here. It's probably gonna go for the Eagle form and start trading his units.
Ooh, yeah, so the Eagle form means that you get to start running things in. You Crescent Blade probably the Gallus just to get the pardon on your Imperial Guard, and now, I mean, it's not a full board wipe, but now you're in a little bit more favorable position, and your Imperial Guard is in a very aggressive spot to continue to play in an aggressive fashion.
Exactly. Also, that Sun Wukong has his own buff as well, so he's going to be able to move 6 tiles next round. I don't think he's going to get to the Gallus unless C4 makes a small mistake here. But as we can see in his hand still, like if he really wants to kill that, he does have the projection or Siphon Mind plus a Crescent Blade would take him out as well.
Ao Kuang Rushing Thunder. Chinese is build your own mini annihilation. You get to keep a 5/5 on the board. You get to run extra damage into your opponent's summoning stone as well. Such a nasty combination, and Ao Kuang, easily a top 3 card in Chinese. It's just so potent.
Yeah, I would say it's the second best card in the path. Exactly.
Yep.
Like it's also together, those synergizes so well.
Oh yeah.
Especially versus the Zeus matchup. So hopefully we get to see maybe something about that later.
Yeah, that would be really cool. What's another thing that's interesting is we saw Ao Kuang Rushing Thunder, but Ao Kuang Guan Yu Rushing Thunder is even nastier, just because it's 3 to everything, like old Annihilation used to be before it got buffed this patch. I mean, it's just a lot of damage, and you really don't want to be facing down that much damage. The question is, do you just you kind of have to projection down the Ao Kuang if you're a Baconator, right, just to get it off the board?
Like he cannot do that right now because his spell immunity, so he has to go for.
Oh my gosh, it is spell immune.
the Gallus, which does not feel good at all to do here.
Not at all.
I would probably just go mess up some Crescent Blades. I actually go for a projection on the Gallus here.
Wow.
What I was going to say was just mess up some Crescent Blades for his Guan Yu and put the Guan Yu basically in a corner and just start just clearing the board with his ability.
Yeah, Tallow Assault down Mr. C4. I mean, I like that play, definitely. I think that's one of Baconator's better plays at the moment. If Projection comes out from C4, this Sun Wukong, which was originally a very powerful card, is just going to fall. Guan Yu might end up doing the same thing. Rushing Thunder drops the Imperial Guard to 1, drops the Sun Wukong to 2. Another Crescent Blade is going to wipe the board in favor of C4, and yikes is all I can say about that one.
Yeah, he's taking a big command of the game here. He doesn't have the spell immunity anymore though, so he has to be careful of how much he commits to the board to play into the opponent's Guan Yu. But I don't think we're gonna see it just yet. I don't think he has. I'm probably gonna wait one turn on it. Maybe play the Blade Master here, hit Ao Kuang, so it's definitely gonna die next turn.
I think I'd like that play. One of the things about playing the Guan Yu this turn... oh wow, okay. This is an aggressive Guan Yu. He's going to go ahead and drop the... Celestial Armor on it, which means that he's basically telling C4, you're going to have 5 spells or you're not, essentially. Or an Imperial Archer. You could Imperial Archer, try to get a couple of spells off too, but he's basically saying, you can't kill my Guan Yu next turn, and my hand's ridiculous if this Guan Yu survives.
Yeah, exactly. The thing that he's really hopes that C4 doesn't have is a Heboa here to bounce it and basically remove the Celestial Armor when it comes down the second time to be able to kill it. Because then he's also gonna know, like, okay, he has that in hand and he's just gonna play around it.
Yeah, I think the Heboa is definitely the one card, especially that Baconator doesn't want to see. Dragon King also in that list, pretty high up on that list of cards that Baconator doesn't want to see, because that's just 8 damage to stone, drops him down to 7. It's very difficult to come back from, even when you're ahead on board, because there's just a couple of surprise attacks, from a Blade Master or something that can just end the game right then and there. C4 is gonna Crescent Blade his own Sagittarius just to get a little bit of poke out onto C4. And oh my gosh, this Ao Kuang.
Yeah, I think C4 has been keeping track actually of the Crescent Blades in Baconator's hand and knows that he doesn't have any. But doesn't have need if you have 2 Crescent or Rushing Thunders in your hand.
Yeah, I like what Baconator's doing. You get to hold on to the Ao Kuang, maybe drop Ao Kuang Projection. You get to surprise your opponent's Ao Kuang up. You get to one-shot a Blade Master, which is really cute. I think holding the Ao Kuang is really nice here. Heboa, you probably bounce the Gallus here, right? Bounce the Gallus, throw the Blade Master into the Imperial Guard?
I would just go for the Imperial Guard here with the Blade Master for sure. I would probably just make a Crescent Blade with leftover mana here to just ensure that I have enough to remove whatever comes down with the AoE.
We are going to see the Heboa end up coming out. I do like your line of the Crescent Blade for sure. This line does force C4 to spend 4 more mana to try to get his spell immunity back on the board. Crescent Blade just to take down the Heboa. I mean, it is 2 damage in a ranged unit, but that's definitely not the most potent unit at this stage of the game. It's mostly just a 3-mana bounce effect, and anything else that he can get as collateral damage.
Yeah, like he was totally expecting it to get Crescent Blade there, like you always do in this matchup. Hopefully that C4 doesn't misplay a little bit here. He could if he places the Gallus in the wrong spot, then a Crescent Blade with the Aokwang here is gonna take out the Gallus.
Oh no. So this is a card. Contemplation does nothing. Does actual nothing. It is 1 mana that reads do nothing. But it also reads put 2 spells in your hand. And those 2 spells also do nothing. But when you have a Guan Yu, spells that do nothing still do 1 to everything. And that's pretty disgusting.
They should just have put on the card basically to do 1 damage AoE if you have Guan Yu in play. If you have an Imperial Archer, does 1 random damage.
Yeah, it's a very potent card for both Guan Yu and all of the Imperials. Not a very, well, not a very anything card at all. If without those cards, so that's why you don't see it in every single list. But it's still pretty strong. Pummel, another card you don't see in every list, but putting in a little bit of work here, preventing the Blade Master from dealing his attack damage, but projection going to take down the Aokwang, 1 of the same. And we're going to see what the Sagittarius pulls. Marksman, not the best card to pull, but, you know, there's probably 1 or 2 more gods left in Baconator's list.
Yeah, absolutely, but I want to go back a little bit to the Pummel. That's a very interesting card that he puts in his deck. From my experience with building the Nuwa deck, it's a very, very tight list. There's a lot of cards that you just want to have a lot of. Like you want the Guan Yu, you want the Dragon King, Double Blade Master, and so on. I wonder what he actually cut to make room for a Pummel.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting choice. I don't think we've seen a Sagittarius out of Mr. C4. That's something that we've seen out of Baconator. A very potent card in this matchup. It seems just to get extra bodies on board, even if they're not the most powerful bodies, they're still bodies that are pretty relevant. We saw the Imperial Guard be really strong earlier, just in terms of board presence. Like, it didn't do a whole lot of damage, but its board presence was massive. This Marksman's going to get a little bit of chip damage in as well, so not too bad overall.
Yeah, C4 is just throwing away units here to try to make them attack his units instead of his Summoning Stone here, and try and find an answer for this Guan Yu.
But at this point, do you have any answers for this Guan Yu? Like, you can't Dragon King it. You can't Imperial Archer has to get so lucky to hit it. This Guan Yu's here to stay, I think. I think that's what's allowed Baconator to hold on to this game and probably run away with it. This Guan Yu is just not going away.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's this game here.
Yep.
But I just want to finish off my thought process that, like, people that watch this, like, strictly you and me when we play the ladder later, this is going to be a pain to deal with.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like, Guan Yu alongside Gallus is already pretty annoying, but you can kill Gallus. You can't get rid of... I guess we might see, if this starts becoming popular, we might see Silence become a really good effect. Maybe the card, but definitely Chaos Spawn, just to get rid of, you know, Guan Yu's effect and to get rid of this Celestial Guard that's a very powerful... Actually, no, you can't silence. You can't cast the card Silence on Celestial Guard, so we have to run Chaos Spawns. Yeah, no, I think if this becomes meta, we're going to have to see some way around it. But as it is, Baconator takes this mirror match. He's going to have to switch decks. We're going to see what C4 does in Game 2. We'll be bringing you that just after this break. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our American Losers Finals Game 2. My name's still Strixus. I'm still here with Sinbreed, and we're still here bringing you C4 versus Baconator Game 2. Baconator now bringing out his Zeus deck into C4's Nuwa list.
Yeah, we come in after the first round and finish here, and we see basically just two decrepit bowmans trade off with each other. I think this one of them gonna survive maybe for C4 here. Also, want to state that we did not have Baconator's hand this match. We have C4's hand.
This is exciting.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but like last game, we do get to, talk through and play this matchup from one side. In the mirror match, it felt a little bit weird because, you're still looking at a lot of similar cards. But in this matchup, we get to talk about the intricacies of the Nuwa versus Zeus matchup. Talk me through a couple of what those intricacies might be. We see a couple of powerful cards on the board already, like this Scylla that a lot had to be invested for it to fall down.
Yeah, he had to do the Crescent Blade, and he didn't get lucky with the shot. He actually hit the Summoning Stone there from the Imperial Archer. So he had to trade in his 1/1 as well. And it looks like it's gonna trade into two Decrepit Fractures. Oh, actually gonna use a Judgment on it. That's
Ooh.
interesting.
Yeah, it does allow Baconator to get in a little bit more chip damage with these Decrepit Fractures. I don't mind this. He's going to have to be a little bit wary about using the Judgment that early. I think that means the Baconator's trying to play more of an aggressive role as this game goes on, potentially just by nature of using a card that has potential of dealing 4 damage and only using it for 2.
It also might be that he saw Gallus last turn.
Oh, yeah.
So he might be playing around that and like getting in his removal spells wherever he can instead of trading units in.
Right, because then you can trade the range units into the Gallus for no deficit later on, get extra damage. Ooh, Medusa. I like this play a lot because there's not a lot where Mr. C4 is standing for this Medusa to really fall down, I think. C4 would have to have a very particular sequence of cards for this Medusa to die this turn.
Exactly. I think he has to wait 1 turn here to get maybe play he could play the Hoji next turn with projection, make a Crescent Blade this turn and kill it that way. There's a lot of cards invested into it, but if he doesn't check off this Medusa, it's gonna possibly run away with this game here.
Absolutely. That's not something we've said about Medusa a lot in the last couple of months. Medusa, sometimes considered to be one of the weaker legendaries in the game, not by nature of her ability. Her ability is fantastic, but it's the fact that all these other legendaries have these powerful effects as soon as they hit the board, or they're spells that are just game-swinging spells like Annihilation and Dragon King, and Medusa kind of has fallen a little bit in the dust. But yeah, if you don't have a way of checking Medusa, then she can tear through your backline.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember like back in the day, like, oh, Medusa's OP, and now you like say, oh, you play Medusa, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, now you're more scared of this Athena coming down than the Medusa. Athena doing a lot of damage and bypassing the spell immunity of Gallus, putting also Gallus in range of being stoned to death by the Medusa, which is pretty relevant as a whole. I think that the fact that if you're able to get some stones around your enemy's summoning stone, some Medusa statues, that really limits what your opponent can do with their turn. It prevents them from having a very effective way of playing the game because they don't have a backline anymore to play stuff on.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of interesting also that he decided to move his Medusa 1 tile and not 2 to get that 3 damage to the Summoning Stone. He's playing around that one of the archers might be able to hit. He can take one shot from one of the archers here.
Yeah, I think he's also potentially looking at by placing the Medusa there and having the Nemesis be where the Nemesis is right now. The Gallus can't come in and hit the Medusa for one, if that's potentially relevant for Baconator. Again, I feel like there'd have to be a particular sequence of cards for that to be very relevant. Weird
actually
sequence
think,
for C4 right there, because now he can't kill the Nemesis.
Oh yeah, I think.
Or he can
He
Crescent
might,
Blade it.
I think. Yeah, I think it was looking on the board and like, oh yeah, I can attack it with both my archers.
And then didn't realize that the Athena prevented that, yeah.
Exactly, but I think I understand why he didn't do with the Medusa there. As you said, it was out of range of the Gallus.
Mhm.
Because if he has a transfuse in his list,
Ooh.
he goes in, attacks it. The Gallus still 1 HP, and a Crescent Blade finish off the Medusa.
Yeah, I think that that's a really nice nice decision for Baconator. Again, we don't have deck lists, so you've got to assume the worst from what your opponent has. We know by looking at C4's list that he doesn't have a transfusion in hand. We didn't see it, I don't believe, come out of his deck last game either, even though we didn't have his hand. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's taking advantage here that the Gallus is dead as well.
Mhm.
As before, putting Judgment on the biggest unit on the enemy battlefield just to get the value while he can actually just still get it.
Right, absolutely. So if you're Baconator, you want a deicide here, really badly. Hey, is this it? Yeah, it is. There we go. Let's go.
And a Sagittarius. So he was a little bit behind there, like without us seeing his hand. If he didn't have that last turn, like a Gallus come down, protect the Ao Kuang, that would have been. He could have been in kind of big trouble.
Yeah, it would have been insane damage potential. You know, create a Crescent Blade, you get to shoot down the Apollo this turn with the newly drawn Pummel. There's a lot of lines for C4 if that Ao Kuang hadn't died. But not quite enough mana to play both the Ao Kuang and the Gallus, which is very fortunate. That's another... We were talking about the merits of both Gallus and Celestial Guard, or Celestial Armor last turn. That's one of the nice things about that one, because it's a 2-mana spell, and it's more immediate, and you can play it earlier, so the Ao Kuang could have been protected there, whereas the Gallus sat in hand for an extra turn.
Yeah. Also, we see like the other side of the coin, that now he gives protection to multiple things.
Right.
And also, I think Baconator is probably on the thought process that, oh, he plays a Gallus as well. This probably is some transfusions in this list.
Yeah, I think that that's more often than not potentially going to be the case. Not every single time, but you know, I mean, even with Changa's not being in the list, you're still likely running Blade Masters. I think we did see them out of C4, and Transfusion Blade Master is really good. I don't know if we've seen Baboon out of him, but Transfusioning Baboon, and you know, even in a pinch, you can run Transfusion as a damage reduction spell, like Weakening Curse. You know, if you drop something down to low health and it's got high attack, you can use it to drop their attack as well and make that card somewhat irrelevant.
Yeah, we saw that happen a few times last week. I believe that Kenneth did that against Shadowq to minimize his opponent Sylvanas, for example.
Yeah, I really like that style of play. It makes playing around something a little bit more precarious. The Medusa in a prime position to get Dragon King, something that Baconator wasn't necessarily playing around at that point, unfortunately. Medusa's going to end up falling the turn she comes down. We were talking about the Medusa having the potential to snowball the game, but against Chinese, who has multiple recall effects, multiple ways of damaging her, this is the other side of the coin with Medusa, is you just sometimes don't get to do anything with her.
I think that if I was C4 here, I would think that, oh, that's when he places the Medusa in front, he wants to get close. And the way he does that is for probably an Athena, dropping down damage, then he stones it.
Mm-hmm.
So you see here that he's not really play around it though, because he has so few units and so few spaces. But he's doing the best he can and basically saying you can damage either my Gallus or kill my archer.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, his positioning is mostly fine for Athena as well. Athena is only going to hit 2 of anything, and hitting, you know, the 1/1 is extremely low value. I think we're going to end up seeing the Apollo fall to the Pummel plus Crescent Blade now that it's being put in a more aggressive position right here. But
yeah, probably.
I think that's probably going to be the case because I mean, a continually buffed Apollo just spells absolute murder for your opponent if he can get a couple of shots off.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think he buffed his Aphrodite last turn.
Mm-hmm.
He could have buffed the Apollo and would have been a 3/5, and at least they would have traded with Decrepit Bowman, Decrepit Fracture on the side of C4 here.
Well, it ended up, it actually wouldn't have, purely because of the fact that Pummel stuns. So there's potential, like you could just move the Fracture up after pummeling the Apollo, and it just gets the free 1 damage in. So
yeah, you're correct with that. I forgot about the stun from Pummel. It's
not a card you
it's
see
not
all that often, yeah.
And no, absolutely not. I haven't seen it actually. This is one of the first times I see it, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's a very fun card, potentially very powerful. We're gonna see. We might see. I don't know if C4 runs just 1 or 2, but I don't know. It's a potentially tide turning card, and we'll see what it does. But are you seeing what I'm seeing here?
Guan Yu Crescent Blade?
Yeah. I mean, you only have 1 spell right now, so it's not like the highest value Guan Yu, but it is going to be spell immune when you play it next to the Gallus. And I mean, that protects you from Phantom Grasp, which is extremely nuts when you steal a Guan Yu. It protects you from so much stuff right here.
Exactly, and we see that that he actually got a Clay Soldier before as well from the Sagittarius, and he needs to finish that off before it gets close to his units.
Well, there it is. The Decrepit Fracture is going to end up being the one to finish off the Clay Soldier, leaving Baconator with just a 3/5 Aphrodite and 2 cards in hand to C4's 0. It does mean that Baconator has some potential outs with some extra cards, but you know, we're getting pretty late into this game. There's only so much left that Baconator can have, but Blade Master's not that bad.
Absolutely not. It's just that the Guan Yu is so far back right now, so he has trouble getting to it. And it seems like he's gonna be able to kill it next turn here. He's gonna kill the Blade Master with it, so it's going to die to the Aphrodite.
Yeah, I mean, the Aphrodite is likely to be the one to take it down, but actually, you're going to run the Gallus into the Aphrodite? That's a little bit strange to me. Divine Intervention. Oh, Joe, if this is an Athena, are there Athenas left? Oh no.
Yeah, I believe he has 1 Athena left.
Yeah, if that was an Athena, that was absolutely game changing. This still is pretty nuts for Baconator. You know, the Scylla feels really good. Not going to be able to stay a monster, but a lot of damage potential coming out of there. Blade Master, though, a really good draw for C4. Gets to take down one of these high pressure ranged units for Baconator. So we're going to see where this leads C4 into the game. Because the Blade Master is still going to fall to the other one. Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
so.
There's only so much the Blade Master can do here.
Yeah, he has to go for Aphrodite though. Like the Aphrodite is gonna do more damage over time because of Scylla's ability to get. She's gonna be smaller.
Right, absolutely. I agree with that completely. You know, you can buff the Scylla, but the Scylla's already going to start smaller. He is going to end up going for the Scylla. I guess moving the Blade Master into a more aggressive position to force Baconator to move back with his Aphrodite. Yeah. So it prevents 5 damage onto C4 Stone, but it doesn't prevent the Aphrodite from staying on the board. And oh, Enyo.
Yeah, I'm not sure like his thought process there. Like he's not gonna be able to. Oh, he can actually transfuse and make it a 3/3.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of this flag placement though.
I think he's just wanna deny the spawns here. Like he denies the Blade Master number 2 coming in and kill the Aphrodite.
You can, but at the same time, you can place it. You can place the flag 1 space down, place the Decrepit Bowman 1 space to the left, and still have the ability to move your Enyo in the way of the Summoning Stone and chip damage. This way, like a little, like it's not a huge misstep. Baconator does have the Fist Pump of Glory and Raves coming out from the Heaven Raves Zeus, which means that the F6 came out from C4. But yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit extra damage that you can get off with your Enyo, end the game a little bit faster, prevent any, if there were any outs, prevent any potential outs from C4. So, I mean, all in all, not a huge deal, but it's just, it's like the little things that sometimes can matter, just not this game.
Yeah, we'll see if it's gonna matter for him in the finals here.
Yeah, that means, yeah, with the win, Baconator ends up 2-0 over C4. He's going to be facing Mace to the face in the finals. That's going to be an exciting matchup. I'm definitely excited to see that one. Both of these players very powerful in their own rights, and both of them, I believe, already secured for a DreamHack slot. So I think this one's just for seeding. We're going to see how that ends up playing out for these guys.
Yeah, good luck to both of them.
Yep, we'll be back with the grand finals, Baconator versus Mace to the face, in just a few minutes, guys. Stick around. Hello everybody, welcome back to the NA Grand Finals of our second DreamHack Valencia qualifier for Hand of the Gods. My name's still Strixus, I'm still here with Sinbreed, and Baconator's back with us, but this time he's against Mace to the face. We've got a Zeus versus Bologna matchup here in Game 1.
Yes, we see some interesting hands here actually. Baconator does not opt to go for the turn 1 Nemesis to keep buffing it as the game prolongs here, and put some pressure on Bologna. Instead, probably gonna put down an Apollo in the next turn here.
Yeah, I think that's probably fine. There's very little chance, just based on Mace's hand, for the Apollo to fall this coming turn. Already using the mana potion to take out the Decrepit Bowman, so you can't, play the Mercury and the Dishonorable this turn. You'd have to wait an extra turn to kill the Apollo, most likely. So we'll see how this turn plays out. But
Yeah,
getting a Mercury and a Decrepit Bowman on board, that's a lot of damage for turn 2.
Yeah, he could just move up here and hit the stone, or he maybe hope for a trade next turn. But it looks like he's just gonna put it down to the bottom of the map.
Okay, so he's trying to keep it out of range of the Apollo for now. The Apollo getting buffed next turn is pretty devastating. No.
Good hunting.
The BM, good luck, man.
Oh no. 1 in 8 chance. RNG strikes again, this time favoring Mace to the face. Mercury takes out Apollo from the back line. That feels so bad. Like, even if it's not the worst play that could happen, Baconator's probably groaning a little bit in his chair.
Yeah, probably at least a little bit. But he can be happy that that Mace to the Face missed out on 2 damage to his Summer Stone, so that's something at least.
Yeah, I think at this point, you're positioning in case that doesn't happen, because there is still an 87% chance that doesn't happen that exact way. So I think you're still... I think what Mace's movements were correct. If 2 damage ends up being the end-all be-all of this game, that might hurt a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be too bad.
Yeah, the only thing you could do differently is just put down the Mercury first, see where it lands, and then move his Archer, just for the small chance of that actually happening. But if we also look at his hand here, like, we have some interesting. We have an Inferno Cannon, which has been seeing a little play now.
Yeah.
And people have found out that it's actually good.
Yeah, Inferno Cannon has been a very weird card the last patch or so. It got a couple of extra knocks this patch. You get to it gets to knock back anything that it attacks, which is pretty cute. With new Bologna ability, you get to blink it around the map, which means that it has potential for it to be put in a pressive position, similar to how you could when you had a mobile spawn point. So I like Inferno Cannon right now, specifically in Bologna, maybe not in other decks, but I think it's a potentially nice deterrent at this point of the game.
Yeah, I agree as well. We're gonna see here the Scylla comes into play, is gonna kill the Mercury. See if he wants to opt to trade with the Bowman here. This is basically just saying, he's basically saying like, oh, the Crypto Bowman's gonna kill me next turn.
So what you can do for Mace, you could blink the Scylla in range. You could blink the turret to the Scylla.
Yeah, knock it away and play Dishonorable here.
Oh yeah, that's a Dishonorable. Wow. So Dishonorable got changed recently, where summoning stones don't count for adjacency. That affects a lot of cards in the game. A lot of the old Roman units, Dishonorable is in that same boat. So if you blink the turret, knock the Scylla away, and then hit Dishonorable, that's a 1 mana... Well, I guess it's 3 mana because you're blinking the turret or the Scylla. But that's 3 mana. You get to potentially do something... I guess you don't have anything else on 2 mana, but you get to wipe the board, get a little bit extra damage into the enemy summoning stone, and you didn't use all that much clear to do it.
No, taking out Scylla early as well before it snowballs out of control is very, very important as well.
Absolutely. Just because you get to keep buffing it, Scylla, even without the extra buff that it gets, if a Scylla stays on board for long enough, Zeus can keep buffing it, and that's a scary little girl.
Yeah, especially that you don't really have any hard removal in the Bologna deck, like we can see in the Zeus or like the Raw decks with Execute or Deicide. We see here also that Mace of the Face is playing real smart. He's playing around the Athena, which has global range. So you can put it anywhere on the map and it deals 2 damage in an AoE around it. So it's basically saying, yeah, you can kill one of my archers or put damage on my turret. Whatever is fine.
And with the divine intervention that was played a couple turns ago, the likelihood that there's an Athena in Baconator's hand is relatively high. You know, it's almost definitely a 2 of. I don't think I've ever seen somebody running Greek that's not running 2 of Athena. This play from Baconator is a little bit safer. You get to get a body on board, and if the Enyo flag survives, you get to maybe have a surprise attack. But I think the Enyo flag might end up falling this turn. If I was Mace, I wouldn't want to keep it on the board for very long.
He could take it out or teleport, kill the Enyo with using rain of arrows here. But that's gonna kill one of his archers as well.
That's not a huge issue. I don't think.
No, not really. It just looks like he's gonna go for the flag here, though. I mean, he also has a bludgeon in hand, so he might want to see if he can put some value with that.
Yeah. This is an interesting Roman list right here. Bludgeon, Cupid, Dishonorable. It's definitely going for a slower, more valuable game. Not a lot of, like you said, hard removal in this list, but we see the Giannis being hovered, Giannis coming down onto the battlefield, and this could very much turn the tides of the game if this Giannis sticks around for 2 or 3 turns. And I don't know, do you have to Phantom Grasp it in the next couple of turns? Maybe.
He has Phantom Grasp next turn. I mean, that's if he doesn't have any good removal, because if he he cannot do Nemesis this turn and then come down with Athena, because it's still gonna be at 3 health. So I think you have to go for a Phantom Grasp next turn on it.
You also can't Nemesis Athena just by virtue of that being another 8 mana play this turn, so you can't do that right now. Even so, I don't know. What's the line here? Apollo buff? No. I mean, Apollo buff feels kind of nice, but then Apollo just kind of dies to a bunch of stuff, and that doesn't feel good.
I would think an Aphrodite here. And kiss the Enyo.
Enyo, yeah, that makes sense. Nemesis is going to end up coming down onto the Giannis, which means Baconator's not looking to Phantom Grasp it next turn, most likely.
No, looking probably for a Sylvanas in the coming turns here, because that is a pain to deal with in the Roman Pantheon.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that much.
Absolutely. So, let's see. What does Mace need to draw to deal with the imminent threat of this Enyo sitting on his doorstep? He
can blink it back, actually.
Oh, you're right. Oh, that's nuts.
Kill 2 and deal a lot of damage.
That's actually nuts. Yeah, that's crazy. You could also, if you happen to draw Deicide from your opponent's list, that feels pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why Giannis is so fun.
I think he has a tough choice here, because we can see that he's passed the turn to Mace, and he hasn't drawn a card yet, so he's looking at the 2 cards from Giannis right now. So for those of you who doesn't know what Giannis' ability does, is basically he draws the top card of yours and your opponent's deck, and you get to choose one of those cards to add to your hand.
And the other one goes on top of your opponent's deck. So it seems like he got a Sagittarius. That's probably Mace's own card, right?
I would believe so, yeah. The Zeus deck just almost runs only gods.
That's nuts. Like you said, that bludgeon, man, that felt so good for Mace. And Baconator must just be feeling so bad right now. Now you have to Phantom Grasp the Giannis, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like, he's just gonna control your draw step every turn if you don't.
Yeah. Athena comes down, and then Athena could just die. I guess you have to. So he's not going to kill the Giannis still. Buff the Athena, which means the Athena is now at 8 health. I mean, that's a lot of health to try to chew through for a Roman list. But
yes, but he runs the risk of him getting a Deicide here and say bye bye to the Athena here and just snowball this game out of control.
And Baconator hasn't drawn either one of his Deicides left. That's 2 and 13 cards left. So I mean, it's not a huge chance of drawing it. What is that? About a 13, 14% chance that you draw a deicide. So like not great, not awful, but we'll see. It looks like another tough choice though for Mace. He's thinking about these a lot.
Yeah, that's probably maybe he can also Ares to stun the
Ooh.
Athena.
So it looks like a choice has been made because he's looking to. He can move his Giannis, but we don't.
I think he minimized it to see where he can move his Janus and everything.
That makes sense.
Because we're gonna see when he draws the card, I believe. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a
it's
dishonorable.
Oh wow. So again, a card that you know, not the. It's weird to see dishonorable be the better of the two cards versus a judgment. Okay, so judgment can still deal with the Giannis, but I guess either way, Mace knows that his Giannis is dead.
Yes, yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. If he has like a second Athena here or something like that in that line, then picking the dishonorable over the judgment would have been a huge mistake, I think.
Yeah. I think the weird thing about that pick is that dishonorable does a questionable amount of damage, but for Baconator, judgment always does 4. So you could even leave the Giannis on the board for one more turn potentially, and then, you know, play an Aphrodite, play an Apollo, play a Scylla. Even if you're like playing a Scylla just to kill a Giannis, like you're killing the Giannis and you still have the judgment in hand for another card. So I don't know. It's a weird play. I'm not saying that it's the wrong play, but it's I don't know. We'll see how it ends up playing out for Mace. I mean, he's not in a bad position right now by any means.
No, definitely not. He could, yeah, he's gonna Cupid here, probably bring back his turret, take out that flag.
Mm-hmm. And he's got so much control. Oh my gosh.
He's gonna do the Rain of Arrows trick with Cupid here.
Yep, this is a cute combination. I love watching this go down. You still blink the turret back, right? To hit the Inyo flag?
Yeah. So you blink that back, take out one of the archers with your Sacred Warrior here.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can blink. You can blink one of the archers away and dishonorable as well.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't blink one of the archers away and dishonorable because that's 3 mana and you only have 2 mana left. So Sacred Warrior is going to clean up one of these 1/1s. Sacred Warrior not too great in this deck. I mean, I know it pulled from Sagittarius, but this is probably one of the worst decks that you can pull it in.
I mean, he has 2 Blade Masters in hand that counts as healing, so
true,
he gets to draw a card.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. That's actually really cute.
Yeah, and we saw last week that Shadow Q had a Sacred Warrior from one of his Sagittarius, and that did like 6 damage or something to the enemies, though.
Wow, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm not so hopeful for this one to do that much damage, but who knows?
Yeah, I think that this is kind of more of a control Sacred Warrior. I mean, even if the Sacred Warrior draws a single card, that's not bad. You know, for a card that feels dead in the water in this deck otherwise, for drawing a single card feels pretty good overall.
Yeah, and it's gonna take out both of these decrypted fractures as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So Apollo ends up coming down. There's a couple of different choices that Mace has here. If you play Blade Master, what do you hit with Blade Master?
I would probably blink the Apollo and kill that, and take out the decrypted fracture.
What if you blinked the Apollo in range of your turret? Oh no, you can't do that. I was thinking, okay, so you can't double blink.
Well, he can blink it in front of a turret, shoot it back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the best way.
Dishonorable?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best way for dishonorable to hit everything, like it, and kill the Apollo with the turret shot. Like I'm trying to figure out if that's a thing that can happen, but I think you'd need 2 blinks for that.
Yeah. Like, he's like doing math here. Like, but he's still not gonna kill the Apollo next turn.
No. And this still leaves 1/1s on the board. Sacred Warrior putting in a lot of work, taking down some of these 1/1s. Dishonorable is going to still hit the Apollo, but it does stay on the board for now. And it does a... Yeah, I mean, Blademaster just can't aggress right here at all.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about that play, if you want to say bad thing about it.
Yeah.
So he could have, if he would have done the play that we discussed, like he would have killed Apollo, but he would not have killed the Bowman or
The Aphrodite.
the Aphrodite.
Right. At the same time, I think Apollo is such a powerful card alongside Zeus buff, although, ooh, wow. These draws, man.
Yeah.
That's an enlist that can just take out this Apollo. So Mace was rewarded with his play. It was definitely an interesting line, but the enlist is a very, very good draw right here.
Yeah, he could enlist to kill the Apollo, hit the Athena with his Blademaster, and then play Mercenary,
Yeah.
make it a 3/3.
He's going to move the
And
Blademaster.
kill.
You could
Yeah, I
either
really
kill
hope
the,
he doesn't screw this up
Athena.
there.
You could kill the Athena or just poke 3 to stone. Force Baconator to answer it. And there's nothing... This Phantom Grasp is just sitting dead in hand. There's nothing that this Phantom Grasp is doing at all. Because it now only hits gods. That's a big deficit that it has to face now as a legendary.
Yeah, I mean, this Maester Face still has very good targets for it. He just hasn't drawn them yet.
Yeah.
With like Sylvanas or Terra, for example.
Let's see, Sagittarius now for Baconator. So this might have actually been Baconator Sagittarius originally.
Yeah, that might have been right there.
Oof. Sylvanas.
Here's
Sylvanas, second Blademaster. Like, there are so many things that Mace can do this turn just to destroy what Baconator has going on.
yeah, and
This is something that
Okay.
Mace needs to make sure he doesn't screw up. Because Summoning Stone no longer counts for adjacency. We were talking about that with Dishonorable earlier. He does not screw it up. So that's good for him. Keeps his Venator around another turn.
yeah, but he's missing out on 4 damage here because he could have just played the Blademaster next to the Divinator instead of just moving his other Blademaster here.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. You do definitely miss out on a little bit of damage. Mace is in such a good spot right now, though. Baconator's essentially top decking. Mace doesn't know that, but double Blademaster Sylvanas. You can Phantom Grasp the Sylvanas, and that's pretty nice, but you can't race double Blademaster with just that. And there's very little that Baconator can do. Next turn, like, you'd have to just buff the Sylvanas, essentially.
I mean, he has lethal on the table right now. Say he Phantom Grabs the Sylvanas. The Mace is just going to attack with both Blademaster through Summoning Stone and List for 11 damage.
Yep. And the Deicide not going to do it. Even buffing the Sylvanas. It looks cute. Having your own Sylvanas as a pet is real nice, but like you said, there's too much damage still on the board for Mace. Played this game pretty darn well. I really like some of his plays. His deck looks fantastic. And just a little bit of luck to help get him through as well.
Yeah, I really like how he played this. Very heads-up plays, playing around the Athena we saw, and as you said, a little luck with the Mercury in the start of the game to get ahead.
Yeah, it helped a lot, and that means Mace to the Face is now up 1 game in Grand Finals over Baconator. We're going to be right back with game number 2 in just a minute. Stay tuned. welcome back to Game 2 of our NA Grand Finals of our second DreamHack Valencia qualifier. I'm still Strixus, still here with Sinbreed, and we're still bringing you Mace to the Face versus Baconator, this time Nuwa versus Zeus.
Yeah, so this is an interesting matchup. I feel like Nuwa has a slight advantage, but not enough an advantage that is like, oh, I just lost. But the interesting also thing is here is that Baconator choosing to go into this matchup.
Yeah.
So I would think he would go for his Nuwa, go into the mirror, which we saw in the losers final, where he dominated.
Yeah, I think that it's the only thing about a Nuwa mirror is that it's potentially pretty coin flippy. You know, it's kind of whoever draws some of their better cards first a lot of the time has the upper hand, or whoever just gets better use out of their Guan Yu or their Ao Kuangs, and maybe he's just not looking for that kind of RNG or maybe like I don't know. It feels maybe a little bit too RNG for him. Maybe he's looking for a little bit more pure outplay with this Sagittarius. This Fire Imp, not the best placement for him if he wants to land it.
Well, it's still gonna take out one of the 1/1s or the Decrepit Bowman here. He's probably just gonna shove in his Hibwa and kill it with that first.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Hubwa, I mean, a very effective card. You get to recall any unit that your opponent has played, which is really good for these afterlife units like Decrepit Bowman, and then you get to deal, I mean, you get to potentially have just extra damage come out of it in the form of just a 2/1 ranged unit. So you can, I mean, if he doesn't die the first time he attacks, he just gets to deal more damage.
Yeah, exactly. We see as he might want to save his Imp here.
That's weird because Fire Imp is this kind of card that when it hits the board, you generally make use of it that turn or it goes away. Obviously, Greek doesn't have any cards, bar, I guess, Scylla, that really puts you in a position to deal with a Fire Imp, especially one that's this far out of position. But I don't know. The longer the Fire Imp stays there, the less that it's doing. And it's already not doing a whole lot to begin with. And as you go into the mid to late stages of the game, it's probably going to be doing a significant amount less.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. And also here is that playing against Zeus, like most of Zeus units are gonna have a really big health pool, and that 2 attack is probably not gonna do that much.
No, I 100% agree with that. You know, you land in Ares or an Athena, and especially because Zeus can buff those guys to have even more health, the 2/1 is just going to be completely irrelevant if it sticks around for a couple more turns. Maybe you can get a nice surprise attack off sometime later in the game, but it can also just straight up die to an Athena being placed.
Yeah, and he's gonna have 5 mana here now, and so he could do either Aphrodite on the Nemesis or play down Medusa here. If we keep track of the Baconator's hand, he knows that he should have 2 Crescent Blades in hand.
Right.
So the Medusa would survive Guan Yu being dropped here in the next turn.
Unless Mace is running Crescent Blade in his deck and happens to draw it. That would be the only real gotcha scenario, really. Or Contemplation potentially would also turn the tides, just because it's a 1-mana spell, fits into the curve just barely with this 5-mana Guan Yu.
Yeah, that is correct. I forgot that they actually run it. We saw it in the Losers Finals as well.
Yeah, so but this is Mace's list. Not necessarily running it, but I think it's something that without deck list, Baconator definitely has to be wary about, especially knowing that you know, he's running it himself.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very popular in both the EU and NA scene last week. Most people had 2 of in their list.
Yeah, there are a lot of people. Kenny was running them. I know he really likes them. A really weird card Contemplation is because it's a 1 mana do literal nothing. But if you have an Imperial unit on the board or a Guan Yu, then that card just absolutely wrecks. I like this play though. A little bit more conservative. Imperial Archer means that you get to just amass a little bit more value in terms of straight damage, and you still get to kill the Nemesis on the other side of the board, and eventually you're going to be able to take down the Medusa. Whether you want to use the projection, you could run your Decrepit Bowman into it. There's a couple of options that Mace has here.
Yeah, the thing is that if we want to go for the RNG shot on... Oh, that's so greedy.
Yeah,
oh
that
my
was
god.
really greedy. Wow. All right. I mean, he got it though. Mace.
I can't believe he just did that.
Yeah, I 100% would have hit the Nemesis first.
Yeah, because the Nemesis, if that survives, he buffs it and it kills his Imperial Archer next turn.
Yeah, no, that was a very risky play going for that RNG shot. Instead of getting the confirmed kill onto the Nemesis. Yeah, I mean, Mace won the last game with just a little bit of luck. Maybe he'll clutch this one out with the same amount. I really like how his hand's building up, though. Mace's hand just feels so good.
Yeah, he has basically 4 of the cards that he really wants to have in this stage of the game. He has the Plademaster to rush down something, the Aoquang when he builds up enough Crescent Blades, which if he had that in hand, I wonder if he would have done the same play last turn. Probably played that down and had 1 less Crescent Blade, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have liked that as well. I think at this point, you could save the Aoquang for next turn, because next turn you get to Aoquang Projection and it kills even a buffed Medusa. So even if Baconator buffs the Medusa to 6, I like this play of saving the Aoquang for the projection. You get to... okay, Eagle Form. I like this a lot because now your Fire Imp is useful. Your Fire Imp was dead. It was doing nothing. It was absolutely awful. And now it gets to do something where before it was doing literal nothing.
Exactly. It's been like sitting in the back, like waiting for the moment to shine here. I finally got it.
And now the Imperial Archer is in a position where the Medusa can't quite reach it, so that's really nice. I mean, I think at this point you just wait out the Medusa 1 more turn and then Aoquang Transfusion it. And then Crescent Blade down, whatever next threat comes down. You know, Apollo gets to do a lot. Deicide used on the Sun Wukong just to get a big body off the board, and that's a big card taken off the board when you know that Mace is running Aoquangs.
Yeah, that opens up for Mace. The only thing that should be on his radar right now should be Phantom Grasp. But when he did that play, like he's basically forced into Aoquang and projection here, or the Medusa can just run away with this game.
I 100% agree. The Nemesis not in the best position, but I mean, it's still going to be a potential 2 extra damage next turn. I think you're right that Baconator, maybe he's not forced into Phantom Grasping, but at least not this turn, but it definitely is a play that he's going to be eyeing very carefully this turn.
Yeah, the thing also there was if he could why I say force there is because his other plays was like Blade Master, but that leaves the Medusa still with 1 HP and you can't afford the Crescent Blade. And a Medusa is such a strong card if you can have it stay on the board. Like we see now, it picks up an Athena as well. So that would have been a guaranteed pardon attack if you want to take it that way.
I 100% agree. Again, Mace is going to position his little 1/1s in a place where now they can both deal damage to the stone, still both playing around the Athena drop so that Mace still has a little bit extra damage, but the Athena Instead, going to come down onto the Blade Master, deal 3 damage to the stone. Not a bad position for Baconator here. The Apollo is safe for now because Mace can only deal... I guess Mace would have to waste a Crescent Blade to take down the Apollo and use both of the archers in the meantime as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I wonder if he actually has to do that, because if that's also one of the things with that got really, really strong with the change that happened in the last patch. He just buffed us, and it doubles the damage he does, which is crazy.
Yeah, Apollo went from a very, very mediocre card to one of the stronger cards. Not necessarily the strongest card, but definitely a powerhouse before Poseidon drops and Zeus gets Kraken. After Kraken, Apollo's terrible. But while you can continue to buff him, like you said, you increase his damage by 2, whereas buffing any other god in the game only increases their damage by 1.
Exactly. We also see here that on Mace of the Face, he's not drawing his spells, so the Guan Yu in his hand is like, I wouldn't say dead, but it's far worse than it should have been in this late in the game.
Oh yeah, Mace to the Face has to artificially create spell value just by amassing Crescent Blades, but at the same time, Crescent Blades are only going to do so much in this game. At some point, Crescent Blades plus Guan Yu is just going to fall a little short. Interesting. I mean, I think buffing the Athena is correct purely because you get to kill the Imperial Guard, but it does lower its HP to the point where I mean, Guan Yu is a potential threat right here. Guan Yu, projection, 2 Crescent Blades kill, and what you have on board should wipe the board, right?
Yeah, I think, is that a Thracian as well? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a Thracian. Wow, that's nice.
So he gets to wipe the board with Guan Yu this turn.
Yep, so you projection onto the... And you get to keep your 1/1 too, which is really nice.
Exactly. So you use projection on the Blade Master or Athena here, and then put Crescent Blades into the Athena.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, that's really nice turnaround. We were saying Mace didn't have a lot of value in his cards, and actually with the projection, he gets to keep his Thracian too. Wow, that's... Oh, man. That feels really good for Mace. Yeah, you were saying there's not a lot of value in Mace's hand for that Guan Yu, but he was able to make just enough value to get an edge in that board state.
Yeah, and we've seen and said so many times, when Guan Yu drops on the board, it swings the game in your favor usually, like 80% of the time, I would say.
Oh yeah, and we've seen games where 2 Guan Yus are battling it out, and the better Guan Yu, or I guess the last Guan Yu standing ends up winning, just by pure value, getting able to continue to create spells for yourself and take out the board little by little. I mean, if this Guan Yu sticks, it's basically curtains for Baconator.
I agree. He could pull an Ares here. He hasn't. I haven't seen any yet. I would believe he plays at least one because it's a very powerful card.
Yeah.
Oh, he draws the DS side, so he has a clean answer to Guan Yu straight away.
Yeah, definitely a little bit cleaner than Ares. Although Ares does get to inherently clean up the Guan Yu anyways, just because the Apollo's at 2 damage. You get to run the Apollo and the Aphrodite into it and kill it. But like you said, Deicide a little bit cheaper, doesn't provide the body, but Guan Yu a little bit safe and out of the way. And this Apollo is a nasty, nasty threat. Look at this. This guy has 6 damage, protected 2 because of this Aphrodite. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's basically the same effect that you have on Oscilla. Like these early drops for Zeus that you can just put your mana into, and they become big threats that has to be dealt with, like really fast.
So is Mace is just hoping to draw his second Alquang at this point, right? Like dropping your second Alquang just essentially wins you the game. Well, not wins you the game, but like it's just nasty on this board.
Yeah, it would take back the board control in your favor for sure. He already used the Sun Kong, so he could have drawn maybe a Dragon King, kill the Apollo.
Yeah.
That will also bring it into his favor.
Ooh, Scylla. Now Baconator, if he plays the Scylla, he has the choice whether to continue buffing the Apollo or the Scylla. Both pretty potent threats. Getting the Scylla, oh man, dude, getting the Scylla and having Aphrodite kiss both the Apollo and the Scylla just means you have a couple of really, really disgusting threats that aren't very high drop cards, but just have the potential to swing the game in a ridiculous manner.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is here, if he wants to kill one of the Hojis with his Scylla, he has to sacrifice his Aphrodite here that's protecting the Apollo.
Yeah.
I think he can do it though, because the Apollo still has 5 health. So there's nothing really that's gonna kill this. Still dies to Crescent Blades, even if it's protected, so...
Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible play. Your Scylla goes to 3 health. The only thing you're worried about is... I mean, we know that the Scylla dies this turn because of the Rushing Thunder in hand, but it also means that Mace of the Face has to waste a lot of resources just to take down the Scylla. Imperial Guard, not the best draw for Mace.
No, it would have been great for him to have on the board last turn.
Yeah, I agree.
With all these spells that he has in hand.
So what do? Do you... You could run the Thracian into the Apollo, Crescent Blade it to death, and... No, that play doesn't work because Scylla's actually still protected. Still has Protect 2 on it. You could run the Thracian. Thracian actually can be 3 health if you place the Imperial Guard. Okay. Or 3 damage.
Yeah, he has to play that. Now he has to choose if you want to kill the Apollo or the Scylla next turn.
You can do both, right? Because you play the Imperial Guard, your Thracian goes up to 3 damage, you run that into the Apollo, and then you Crescent Blade the Apollo once and the Scylla twice, and then you're left with an Imperial Guard, a Hoyi, and your opponent just has a 1/3 Aphrodite. Yep.
Yeah, I missed that. I thought he used his ability, that's why I missed that.
Yeah, this is... Oh, he's not even going to run the... he's just going to move the Hoyi. Interesting. I think you can still play the Imperial Guard. It's just a different way to play the same line. Athena's a pretty good card here, to say the least.
Yeah, I agree, but the question is... He has to put it in front of the Hoyi, I think, here. Because then he can't reach the stone. And you can move up your Aphrodite a little bit, start maybe buffing that up.
Yeah, you can do damage to the stone later.
Yeah. Like, the stone damage is not gonna be the thing that's... like, decides this game right now. It's gonna be the one who gets the board control.
Wow.
Oh, he actually passes the turn?
Passes the turn. Buff the Aphrodite, pass the turn. Blade Master gonna chunk down the Aphrodite. Completely undo the entire turn that Baconator just played. Wow. Yeah, that was rough. And now you're playing around playing around Athena again in this position. Athena can only hit one thing again. I think Baconator might have just missed his turn to deal a lot of damage with that Athena. Actually, no, sorry. I can still hit the Hoyi and the Imp Guard, but it's not going to be in a particularly favorable position.
Yeah, also, Maester of Face did not attack with the Hoji. He didn't move up and hit the stone for free there.
I think that's just to play around. If you move your Hoyi up, you might it gets hit alongside the Blade Master, maybe. I don't know. Ooh, Baboon. Dude, I love Baboon. I love me some Baboon.
When Baboon came out, I was actually one of the players and like, what is this? Like, it gives guard and it's a 3/7. And then I played it in the old Guan Yu deck, and I put Transfusion on it, and then I had 7/7 range.
Yeah, it's just a 7/7 range that your opponent has to deal with. It's disgusting.
It was so good, and then you gave protect or guard to your leader as well back in the day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. Baboon's one of those creatures that like flies just barely under the radar of like a little bit too broken, and and you're just sitting here like, wow, how do I deal with this card? And the answer for Baconator is you really got to reach deep. It's not easy to deal with a Baboon in the position that Baconator is. Obviously, you can run your Athena into it, and you can run the Athena Blademaster into it, but then your Athena and Blademaster both die for free because of the Hoyi.
Exactly. I wonder if Baconator actually would run Divine Vengeance in his list, because that would take a big chunk of Masterface's army out at this stage of the game.
Yeah, Divine Vengeance would be absolutely nuts. A card that some people favor a lot because it does a lot of damage, but we've actually seen a surprising number of units out of Baconator's deck. I'm not sure that's the card he's looking for at the moment. I mean, maybe it's just maybe his 1 or 2 copies are in the bottom. I think that it just might not be in his list at all.
Yeah, maybe, because usually you see 1 to have against the Nuwa decks, and you don't want 2 because in the Zeus mirror, basically. So he might have just cut it completely and think that he can win the games against Nuwa without it.
Let's see. Oh, Sagittarius. Not quite what we wanted to see. Dragon King, pretty nice here. Just a 5-mana deal 6 to the Summoning Stone at this point of the game, where we're getting to fatigue, where every point of damage onto the enemy stone matters. Although running Baboon into the Blade Master seems wrong. You just Crescent Blade the Blade Master, maybe run your Baboon to just kill one of the things, or would you run it 3 damage into the Summoning Stone?
I would kill the Basilisk and then use Crescent Blade the Blade Master here.
Okay.
He could also go for... He could have gone for the Mercenary, make a 2/2, attack the stone for 2.
Yeah.
Or trade it in there and have 3 Crescent Blades for the Archer next turn.
I almost would have liked that play a little bit more. Wow, this Imperial Archer is nuts. Absolutely bonkers at this stage of the game, where there's almost nothing on the board for Baconator.
Yeah, it's gonna be 50-50 shots here. You can't hope for better, basically, in this game. So he could take out, with a little luck, he could take out the Archer Sagittarius here from Baconator.
And like I said before, we're getting to fatigue. Every single point of damage matters in this game. Every single one. So the Imperial Archer, just getting a couple more pings in onto the Summoning Stone, that can easily be just the game for Mace.
Yeah, I do not like this position of the flag, to be honest here.
I don't either.
He needs to start getting aggressive on the enemy stone, so he should have thrown it in the middle of the map. And even if it gets taken out by the Baboon next turn, that's 3 damage that doesn't go to his Summoning Stone. As you said, like, he only has 3 cards left, and he has a huge Summoning Stone lead.
Yeah, I mean, the Enyo also placed in the back line means that it's not going to reach the Summoning Stone for at least 2 turns, which means you're going to delay the amount of damage that that's going to do at the same time. What are we going to see come out here from Mace? What if you play your Decrepit Bowman, double Crescent Blade it, and then play your Mercenary just to have the extra 2 damage, the extra 1 damage? It's not good, but it's cute.
I mean, isn't that... Yeah, that's... he has Lethal on the table right now, as it is. He just attacks the Summoning Stone and play a Mercenary.
Yeah. He's out of mana for the Mercenary. Not quite able to get the RNG shots that time. But, I mean, 1 more ping from the Imperial Archer, the Mercenary. Even the 1/1 Mercenary does it at this stage of the game. no healing anymore in Zeus deck after Aphrodite got changed, and that's going to be, once all the formalities are through, Mace to the Face is going to take game 2 in this matchup pretty handily, I would say.
Yeah, he's looking really, really good. Did Mace to the Face play last week? Do you know?
Yeah, I think I want to say he got 3rd. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that he is one of the top players qualified for our top 8 invitational next week. And
Okay,
this just solidifies him in the top 3, I believe, as well.
Okay. Well, good games to Mace to the Face, like taking out one of the bigger players in the NA side here with Baconator.
Yeah, definitely one of the strongest players in the league. There's the formality shot. Final damage goes to Mace. And wow, I mean, you look at this game and it felt a little back and forth, but 25-0. That's kind of nuts that Mace just won with that commanding of a lead.
Yeah, they were fighting a lot for border control, and both players knew that it's a snowball game in this matchup. So whatever one gets a big lead, it just snowballs, and you end it very fast.
Yeah, the game took a little bit of time, but we saw the game go lean in Mace to the Face's favor pretty quickly. That means that Mace now is your Week 2 qualifier winner. We are going to see him next week. We are, I believe, going to see Baconator as well next week in our top 8. We will see you guys next week for our NA qualifier finals, which means that one of these handful of players is going to make DreamHack next week.